Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Bad Kingdom. Um, I'm having a bit of a hard time getting my brain started. I did a long stream with Pete earlier today and had a little over an hour to kind of take a break and slam down some dinner, which is difficult because I had lunch really late. But you guys want to hear about that? And yeah, but I'm just gonna walk away there with my air conditioner on. It's the last thing you guys want to hear is that. So, for anybody just kind of tuning in for the first time, I am working on Hakma, which is an emanation from Angelarium, which I'm co-author. As soon as I find my stylus here, we can get to work. Yeah. So this one got a couple sessions in on it already, and I'm having fun with it. Like I didn't really, I had a drawing I started with, and I kind of just let it kind of happen. I tried a bunch of stuff and just painted. Today I kind of got a wild hair, and I want to start cutting into the form a bit, which we're gonna maybe do on a different layer because. That might destroy this painting if I don't. Yeah, so yeah, let's see how that goes. Alright, and let's see. Alright, so first things first, what I'm gonna do is I want to sample some of this background texture. I think that's what I'm gonna maybe paint with. I don't know why my phone is bonging. I put it on Do Not Disturb. Okay, so this did not work. There we go. That's better. So I'm kind of gonna use this a little bit as a palette. It doesn't seem like it, but there's a range of green and violets going on in this background that I want to use to cut into this thing. So yeah, so let's see how it goes. Let's start. So anybody familiar with Angelarium and Hakma specifically? Know that there's kind of a cage built into the torso, which it wasn't isn't the original design. I know because I drew it, but I wanted to try something else with this painting, but I'm feeling like I really want to get back to that. I thought that original design gag was maybe a little distracting, but now that I'm doing like another version of it, it feels like an important part of this piece. So we're gonna make that a little smaller. We'll start cutting into this. There's an orbit in there, and also another important design element, and I want to make sure I don't paint over that. So I'm gonna cut that out. See if we can get going here. So yeah, I kind of want to get back to that cage. So I'm gonna drop in some straight lines here, and too close. Yeah, that's already kind of looking closer to the original design. And I don't want to lose the swirl. I just kind of want it to break apart, at a point. And I'll bring up the original design in a little bit. Yeah, see, that's already looking a lot better. Real quick, you're gonna see me open my window because it's a little warm today. I'm sorry if I'm still fidgeting about my desk. They always say be prepared for streams. Make sure everything's right, and terrible at that. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna kind of clean up this shape here. And so anybody following me on social media did mention that Pete would be dropping in, but he was running a little late, and it's totally okay. Either that or he's working on his painting. If you had a chance to stop in on his stream earlier. There was some really interesting things happening with this current angel, which is from our third book, which he's already making while I'm still writing the second one. So he's way ahead of the game. I kind of like this straight line. I want to paint a little of that kind of olivey green. Like I love color variation, and sometimes like you'll notice throughout the piece there's some like here there's this like really like not background green, but man, I'm hesitant to get rid of it. It just feels like sloppy paint. I just love sloppy paint. Yeah, so like I like the rough edges in the background. I feel like they have like a measure of, I don't know, texture, or not texture. That's not right. Well, maybe it is right. I don't know. That's too much. But that violet was very nice. And there's some parts I want to darken up in too. That's my dog. Hey Phoebe, thanks for stopping by. I got a chance to check out your stream. Man, you're making some really cool stuff. Remind me to drop a link, because people should see that stuff. Man, killer stuff. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, just stopping in and taking a look. And I think your stream's about to start soon too, so I totally get that. So there's this. Actually, this is the blue. I'll bring that up. So yeah. And there's some stuff I know. There's some stuff as far as like the texture is concerned that I really want to preserve. Like I want to get back in there. So I think I'm gonna clone some of that back in. a separate layer. And if you hear talking in the background, that's my very loud housemate. Very excited about the pincer he caught. 1 second. This is a Pokemon house, so we're we get very excited when we catch some stuff. Oh, in the middle of the day, like, there's a Snorlax. We'll drop what we're doing and go. It's pretty fun. So now let's try this cloning again. No, that's still on the soft light. Oh, see, that's kind of cool. But I gotta fit it in somehow. So let's try this again. Phoebe, yeah, I totally get it. The zero sleep, work schedule. But you got to do it. There's P and I were talking about it earlier. Actually, we've been through those kind of work binges where we're working like 16 hours a day, and it's like affecting our physical condition or mental health. And there's got to be a point. You got to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. Like play some video games, relax, spend time with family. But at the same time, you still got to hustle, that's the challenge, I think. Let's see how we can paint this back in. Yeah, so that's already feeling a little more unified. Just having that bit of it kind of pass through helped a whole lot. Much better. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. So I still want to kind of work the cage a little more. So I have terrible layer efficiency. I just can't help it. I'll make 5 new layers just to get like a handful of brushstrokes in, just cause. Yeah, I'm terrible that way. I'm not. Before Angelina, I didn't spend too much time digitally. I worked almost exclusively traditional, pen and ink and watercolor, and but man, do I love Photoshop. Just the options available. So I gotta cut out this this here. Oops. Hey, Artifacts. Yeah, you know the struggle, man. Like, it's just, you know, you get that idea and, you know, or that kind of desire to paint, and you just gotta go, you know, and man, it's hard to balance that with, you know, wanting to sleep. And, you know, and be a human being. Like last night, I wasn't even having a hard time sleeping. I was exhausted. I was just ready to pass out, and then, you know, a thought occurred to me, a story that I'm working on, and I was just like, oh, okay, I gotta get up. I gotta deal with this, because there's no way I'm gonna remember this in the morning, or I don't want to risk forgetting it in the morning, I should say. But yeah, you know, we kind of try to talk about that a little in the streams, P and I. It's I mean, I know I like when other artists are candid about their process, or anything if not that. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about this torso. This feels a lot more like Hakma, than it did before the cage. I'm gonna cool down some of these bars here. Yeah, inspiration's a funny thing, Artifacts. Yeah, like when it happens, you gotta haul ass. You gotta take advantage of that. I mean, those are free ideas, you know, from the art gods or whatever it is. But I think it's important to not rely on that stuff. You know, like to be able to work when you have to. You know, I mean, I think that's what being a professional is. You know, it's just you have to be in control of your creative faculties at all times, because, you know, sometimes, you know, you're having a shitty day, you know, a bunch of awful stuff happened, or you're sick, but, you know, like that deadline is coming up, or if, you know, if you're not freelancing, if you're doing like the indie stuff, you know, like if you don't release that if you don't make that release, you know, you lose out on sales, and, you know, that's important revenue. You know, and the way social media works, like that constant presence is super important. So you got to constantly be updating. You know, so it's always something, you know. And so, like, waiting for inspiration is can be a dangerous thing, but, you know, I'm finding that it's not hard to want to work once you start working. You know, it's that first thing in the morning, like, oh god, I just want coffee, and, you know, I want to play some video games. You know, you know, fighting that urge is tricky sometimes. Okay, so I'm feeling a lot better about this torso here. I think that's a more interesting shape. But now let's fuck it up a little bit. I really like this blue. Let's get some of that in there. And I'll see. I was having some technical difficulties with my Photoshop rendering properly, and I'm so glad to be through that particular hurdle. Oh god, I really like that. It's way too much. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. I like this blue. This piece is gonna be blue. Like, we're gonna get this blue everywhere. You know, a lot of these poppy colors are really just to kind of inform temperature and value. You know, so yeah, let's figure out where else this goes. My favorite things to do actually is to scribble in an ellipse. So you always get some interesting stuff. Ooh, that's too big. Alright, so like I'll like dig out some interesting shapes from that scribble. And I get to also pick out and test some colors and see what things look like. So this brush does this interesting thing, which isn't. It's kind of actually like it's a screw up. Like it's a bad quality of the brush, but I like to use it. Like because this is actually my favorite brush. But like the texture that creates this brush, whatever was used to make it, ends. Like it's smaller than the file image, so you get these really hard lines where the brush just stops. The brush texture stops, and when I first started using the brush, like I almost stopped using it because like, oh man, that's just too distracting. But I mean, there's ways to push it back, to overcome it, you know. But man, I actually really like those super hard lines. I don't know, they do something. Oh shit, they add a little something. Alright, so I've got Pete trying to call, and Skype is acting up. So we're gonna get him on in a minute. I just gotta figure out what's going on here. Oh, Skype's been a little weird. I might switch to Discord. We'll see.
What's up?
Hey, Pete. Welcome to the stream.
Thanks. I'm watching you host it on mine right now.
Oh, cool. So
Yours
Skype's
too.
been weird. I don't know what happened just in the tracking.
Oh man.
You still plugging away at yours? So you're painting?
Been fucking around.
You're playing Hearthstone. Come on, let's be honest.
Saw Mike. See Mike in the chat.
Yeah, he stopped in. I think before his. He's about to get cranking too. Actually, I gotta make sure to plug him before I end the stream. I got to peek in last week, and man, he's doing some cool stuff. You're right.
But I'm gonna start painting again.
Yeah.
I'll check out your chat too. So man, like this piece feels a lot more solid.
It's getting there, I think. Thanks. I some things that I had cut out about Hakma that I didn't like. I realized I couldn't do that without kind of diminishing the overall design. So I went back in and just did it a different way. You know, like the cage and the torso. So I'm still playing with that. But you know, I still need to work out with some of these hands, but the Phoebe is doing comic art on Twitch. Stuff's pretty interesting. He works it up in black and white, so it's like you get to see like a digital painter, really. I mean, like his stuff's very painterly, you know, which is not very common in comics. when you see it, you should definitely support it. But yeah, it's like very painterly, and I'm not sure what the project he's working on. Do you know if it's like an indie title? I know he mentioned he was doing something for heavy metal, but I don't know. If
No, I figured it was his own. He's got his own independent projects.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, it seemed that way. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to speak for him.
You did want to, but you resisted.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification, Pete.
You know, one of the things I feel like I've totally like, I feel like I should be incorporating more interesting things I see in other people's work into my own, because I do it in like the most slight ways possible. And now that I'm like off stream, I'm looking at my piece and I'm like, what can I do to fuck with this thing to make it more interesting? Especially what can I incorporate from like the interesting things I've seen you do recently? So like I'm flipping on some of my layers to difference and seeing what the fuck happens.
I was gonna mention that in your stream, but I was like, I didn't want to mess with your flow. I was like, we'll talk
Oh
about it.
man, I just flipped the main rendering layer over to difference, and it's so gross looking. It's uncomfortable. It looks like it's been eaten by insects. It's horrifying.
Yeah, you just gotta like I have that moment too, and I go, okay, that's not right. Like it's definitely interacting with it, cool, but I need to figure out what's wrong. So what I'll do is I'll flip it to difference, and if it's gross, I'll actually invert the layer, the color on the layer, and that usually gives me something interesting, a little more interesting to look at.
Well, no. The other thing that the other layer I tried that's actually producing something kind of cool is the halo that I had, that sort of crescent moon shape.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's passing over like other elements, because it's actually its own free floating element. I'm able to. That's actually now actively interacting with the stuff behind it. So it's doing some kind of weird stuff to like the smoke and to the head, like as I put it around in different spots, and it's cool. It's creating these really interesting negative shapes, which I normally don't get. I might keep it. It's on the verge of getting kept.
Yeah,
it's genuine.
I kind of wish we were watching your stream. I want to see it.
I wish you were watching. I wish we were able to like have both channels visual at the same time. But
we got James Frio in. Oh, James, man, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. James is a very old friend from not very old, but we were friends. I'm butchering what I was about to say.
Yeah, just make it awkward. Why don't you?
Yeah, I know, right? No, James is a buddy from college who's. Man, your Inktober sketches are looking very good, by the way, James. Keep that shit up. And say again?
Buene, as the Italians say.
Okay.
Molto buene.
Oh, okay.
What you meant.
Yeah, gotcha. And
streaming too long.
Yeah. Yeah, James is doing some cool stuff, and James was working at Hasbro for a little while, and went off. He's doing the indies thing now too. He's
Work for Hasbro will do that to you.
And James, if you're curious, I'm the other guy is Pete Moorbacher. He's the co-author on Angelarium and the creator of that entire universe. Actually, it's great to have him here. Trolling me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop in here and troll you. if me making your stream harder is going to make it better, if I can gird you like a, I don't know. So like, what do you feel like? What do you feel like you still need to do on this piece? It feels like you got so much on lockdown compared to where the last time I saw it was.
Yeah. I did a shorter stream because my traditional setup crapped out last week, and I made some quick changes, and I was really happy. So like I fleshed out the faces a little more and added that the dividing plane between them, and it's definitely there's less searching going on. Right now, I am just like trying to nail down some information. Like I'm addressing the hands at this point, and then it's gonna be a point where I clean up the background a little, just to kind of like solidify some parts of the silhouette that aren't reading. Like this area here needs to be cleaned up around the hands. And, like there's some things that are clearly now fingers, and what used to be fingers shouldn't be there anymore. So James is over here fanboying on Pete Morbacher. I know, man. It's cool. Like I'm used to it. Yeah, it's all right. You can come to my stream and be like, oh my god, Pete's so talented.
Oh, wow. Have you gotten the? Do you know Pete Morbacher yet? That's bound to get irritating.
No, I get that. I actually get it a lot, especially at cons. My favorite one though is when I'm outside of Gen Con and I'm having a smoke and by my lonesome, and this guy comes up and he's like inebriated, like he's just smashed, like he's enjoying Gen Con very much, which is pretty great. And so he sits down. He's like, hey man, can I bum a smoke from you? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course, man. So I give him one, and we get to talking. He's like, so hey, you're here for the con, and how are you enjoying it? I was like, oh, that's great. I'm actually exhibiting, and he's like, oh no shit, that's great. Like, are you selling like toys or comics? And I was like, no, actually, I'm an artist. I'm here promoting my book. He's like, oh no shit, what book? Angel Arian. He goes, are you Pete Morbacher? Totally fucking random.
Oh yeah. And well,
No. But like, I laughed. I told you almost immediately.
You told me about this. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was super funny, and honestly, it's a testament to the recognition the book is getting. So like, I actually was flattered that at least he knew of the project. So, but that was my favorite. Are you Pete Morbacher story? And I don't mind it. It's really
don't worry, man. There's gonna be plenty more of those.
Yeah. Okay.
There'll be many days where you'll get to have people talk to you about me.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
I love it. It's
gonna be good.
Yeah. This hand still feels a little wonky. I'm gonna figure something out there.
Now that I'm off stream, I have all these ideas I want to play around with. Like on stream was like render, ready to like just put everything, lock everything down, make sure just stick to the script. And as soon as it was over, I was like, oh, there was this glimmer of an idea that I had early on, and I won't feel satisfied until I try to play it out. And now I'm changing some of the value structure of the background, and I'm playing around with the, adding other conceptual elements, and now I'm like messing with blending modes. It's like, I feel like I burned through it so fast. That first day I didn't really do much experimentation, and then I got right on the stream where it's like, it's hard for me. Yeah, I gotta have my alone time.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot, actually. I realized, like, if I'm gonna keep doing this kind of painting live, there's gonna be segments of it just people aren't gonna see because I just can't make the decisions that I need and talk. I need to stare at it for an hour while sipping coffee or vodka, and I can't do that live. Nobody wants to see me inebriated or overly caffeinated, so...
Well, no one wants to see you sit there and drink yourself into oblivion.
Yeah. Actually,
under the best of circumstances.
Yeah. And I kid about the alcohol. I actually don't drink and paint. You hear that, kids? Don't drink and paint.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
The difference painting would totally work for some of the environmental stuff I want to do.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm kind of playing around with it right now on the foreground elements that I was messing with before. Because I don't even know what the hell happens when you try to use it. I'm like, okay, if I want to turn things, do you even get to pick what color you think it's going to turn into?
Oh yeah, I picked this blue. Like,
So like if
so
something I have is blue and I want to make, can I make it more blue by doing like a complementary color? Do I like
so let's see
if
if I
it's blue
can
on blue, I get
can
black?
let me see if I can effectively demo this. All right, so I'm gonna start a new difference layer. I'm going to uh, turn on my brush for one, and I'm gonna
So,
select one of these blues. Right, I select the blue. That's still blue. Right.
okay,
But if I
gotcha.
throw that over, like the painting underneath it is going to affect the value,
Mm-hmm.
right? And your complementaries, like your like an orange underneath it, is going to kick that blue into some other range. So you see it turn, hot pink and violet over the face here. You get your
Wait for the
violets over
stream
that.
to catch up. Okay.
And what I'll do is like sometimes you need to do these scribbles. Like you keep like it's not as fluid as just picking a color and going. So like I'll sit down and if I'm not sure where to go color wise, I'll pick the brightest, the highest valued color I have on the palette, and then scribble, and just see what comes out of it. I'm like, okay, well I can add this blue here with this violet here, and that looks pretty cool. Or I'll pick a color out of it. Like say I really like this pink, I'll go back into it and see what it does. Actually, I really like that, So, it's very much active mixing, like if you were painting with oils, because you're just like mixing on the canvas is one of the most frustrating and on the fly things you can do traditionally. It's also the most fun, and difference lets you do that. But sometimes it's gonna be frustrating because like fuck, I really need this blue to go to white or to that ice blue, and I just can't get it to a high enough value. At that point, you have to ditch the difference layer, go normal.
Yeah.
Like so if the difference isn't getting you where you need to be, then it's not going to. There's no point in beating a dead horse. If you have something specific you want to do, just do it. Just throw up a normal layer and go.
I'm like, I feel like I don't know what it's doing, but like as I'm playing with it and getting some crazy results, like I'm putting like a more neutral color will absorb more of the color from the difference
Mm-hmm.
paint, while a more saturated one will simply become like a saturated version of itself. So like if there's a pink surrounded by grays, putting green over it will make like pink surrounded a different color pink surrounded by green.
Yeah, but
Very
you also have to keep in
producing
mind.
really dynamic
Sure.
results.
Yeah.
But it's like
But you also have to keep in mind that when I'm painting in difference, like I'm trying to get color in my color.
yeah,
Like if I put down that blue, it's because I want that's those light streaks of violet in it. Like I don't put down any color to just be solid. Like there's gonna be a bit of you're gonna have to compromise with your palette a little bit. But I think that's how
I don't know if you do because I like the experiments that I'm doing now, like
are they
with
working for
this.
you?
Like I'm able to get other colors from the palette to
Mm.
appear because I'm working with a limited range of color anyway.
Oh yeah, that's
So
fair.
theoretically, they should
They should go down as you
complement
want
each
a
other
little bit.
regardless of how they're being mixed.
Yeah, whereas I'm working with a lot of texture, and that texture is informing what color is mixing in.
Yeah.
And the reason why I use so much texture, actually, I should touch on this when working different, is as you build up your painting, like that texture becomes a color. Like back here, these lines are a nice violet, but originally they're black, and so what happens is as I build the painting, that texture will inform like a big color stroke. So let's say I want to fill this with blue, but not on a normal layer, on a difference layer.
All right. So
Like
difference
those lines become turquoise.
okay. Let's do some hard science here. Number one, oh my God. Okay, I think I'm starting to understand the range of results here. White causes the canvas to invert in both color and value.
Black will do the same, but usually
Black
won't pick up.
black doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
Black is
it's just it's not a range that is
so white will cause the thing to invert 100%. Black causes it to invert none at all.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a good baseline. But then like 50% gray causes stuff to darken. Oh no, no, no! It's like I'm just looking at like value range here, and it's like yeah, it makes lighter stuff darker and darker stuff lighter.
Yeah, but it also interacts with color in different ways.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it's doing with the color. What's really interesting about it is that if you get like a really dark, if you just paint with a really dark gray, um
You get really nice grays. They get very chromatic grays.
you start to get it brings out a richness in the color, but it also it's almost like glazing on a varnish. It looks really cool. Um,
Yeah, it's I
it
worked in grays for a lot of the middle part of this painting. Actually, what's happening now? That's parts of it I really like. So I'm gonna
This is
explore
so
that.
rad. This does a thing that I use another tool, more complicated tool for, and I might just do this instead. This is really hot. All right.
I love that you're
Uh,
excited about it.
no, no, no. So there's the thing that I do sometimes is I do a this is like a tool of last resort, like if nothing else is working. Um, yeah, the results are actually surprisingly similar. Holy shit. Okay. This is really abstract, but if you do a value selection, which is if you do a RGB value, RGB channel selection, which is selects the pixels based off of their value, where
Hmm.
white is selected 100%, black is selected 0%, and then the value of each pixel determines its dynamic range of selection. Um, and then you copy merge, you do a copy merge of that, and then you paste it back down over itself, and then set the resulting layer to multiply. What it does is it enriches color and also like it darkens the piece a little bit, but it enriches color and also creates a more dynamic value range. It's a great way of sort of just punching the impact of an image that looks washed out.
You want
Um,
to snap a JPEG and send it to me? I'll put it up on the screen.
uh, you could try it on yours to see what fucking crazy results you get.
So, all right, walk me through it again. Let me save.
All right, hit Control Alt tilde, or no, Control Alt 2 probably is what that.
Control 2.
Control Alt 2. If you see like marching ants all over your
I do.
canvas, you've done it right.
All right.
Does it
Yeah,
look
yeah,
right?
yeah, looks right.
Okay. Hit Shift Control C to do the copy merge. Hit Control V to paste the whole thing back down into a new layer. And then it should look identical to how it did before. Nothing should look different.
Right.
Yeah. And then change that layer to multiply.
Mm, that's kind of interesting. It's not
It
working.
just
For,
like
not working
darkens
for this
it.
piece. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
not
makes
for
it a
this.
little richer. It makes it a little richer.
If you have a piece that looks washed out, this will dynamically affect the values in a way that's like way more interesting uh,
Ooh.
than like simple level adjustments, right?
Okay, look at this. Let the stream catch up. There's
Um,
some stuff that just happened.
you
That
can if you change it to overlay, you get just like a more extreme version of everything, where your darks get darker, your lights get lighter, and everything gets more saturated.
See this. I like
The,
what's
the
happening.
difference layer just looks like shit.
No,
But what,
no, no,
what's
no, no. But it doesn't. But it doesn't. Here.
for the stream? What's interesting is that if you set a layer to difference and then you just start painting on it with 90% gray, it's actually not that different of a result.
There's some stuff in this gray layer I really like that I'm gonna try to keep.
So
Too much.
what's really crazy is it's like I had no expectation that this was going to get reproduced. Oh, black. Oh my god. What the fuck is happening? It's not that, but like 90% gray on a difference layer doesn't do anything to white, but it does that thing that kind of darkens and richens everything.
Yeah.
Where it's like kind of starting to invert it, but not really. It's like, um, and so you get a really similar result by just filling a layer with 90% gray. And well, actually, no, because some things just like dark blues turn into dark yellows, which is fucking nightmarish. But like for like some softer areas, it just kind of darkens and richens it. It's a very interesting look, and I could see this being useful in a number of different cases.
This has been immediately useful to me right now.
Oh, that changing that.
Yeah, it cooled down some spots that I wanted to cool down, but I was like, oh, it's going to take a while, and this just did it really quickly. Because like, there's going to come a point where I have to put highlights in, so I can kind of reaffirm my value structure.
There's always a point.
Yeah, and that's always a difficult part for me because like I work with such poppy colors, so I have to go in and kind of cool everything down. Usually, stroke by stroke, and this just did a lot of work for me really fast. And it fucking, this bottom part of the painting, I fucking love that pink. God damn, look at that pink. That looks like that happened with a palette knife. I can't believe that happened.
If you're isolating it, I always find it's easier to use the
that stroke. Oh, God. Thanks, Pete. That was super helpful.
So that's like that's an old school trick of mine that I would use on pieces that were washed out. But like I run into that less nowadays because it was a problem I would run in. Like I know a couple of tricks that I used a lot that I don't use anymore, and that has everything to do with the fact that I've gotten better at painting, and I like paint myself into a corner less often.
But have you, Pete? Have you really gotten better at painting?
Yeah, I could argue that I'm just painting the same thing over and over again, but still,
I wouldn't say that. I would just say you're painting poorly.
The other weird full dynamic range trick that I do is create a gradient map and then set it to soft light, and then the gradient I use is the Photoshop pre-made bronze gradient. Or copper.
God, that gray is sexy. Pete, God damn it.
It does the copper gradient map does the weirdest shit to a over rendered painting.
Let's try it.
Yeah, an over rendered painting with a copper gradient map just does fucking cool stuff. I've done entire paintings based off of the style that it generates. It's really super fun. I would often throw it on like my concept art to give it a little bit of temperature variation and also even out my tendency to over render things. But I've gotten better about my value control, and now when I try it out, I tend to throw it away because it tends to not give me positive results anymore. All right, if you want to try it out.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying something really fast. No, that's not going to work. That's going to take too much. All right, what are the steps here? Let me see.
All right, so create a new gradient map.
Right, adjustment layers. Where the fuck are you? Okay.
And then so for the gradient that you're going to use, is there a pre-made one that's just like
browns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's called copper. The name is called copper. It should look like shit when you do it. It's just browns and whites. It makes it look almost inverted. Hit OK, and then change the blending mode on that layer to soft light.
Interesting. Oh man.
So what that's doing is it's darkening and making the shadow colors more brown, but then your near shadows to light brown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's twisting the middle. The ends of the spectrum are being exaggerated, and the middle of the spectrum is actually being deadened and flattened. And you could do this. You could change the colors to make it a cooler version of this, or you can do it neutral. But with an over-rendered piece, what this does is it pops your shadows and pops your highlights while flattening out your midtones and making the painting more like a drawing. And it can do some really, really good stuff for a piece that's early on and starting to go off the rails in terms of its value control,
Mm-hmm.
and make it look like you have better value control than you really do. In fact, there's one of my Angelarium paintings. It I would often get the comment, "Wow, you've got amazing value control," and all it was I did a really bad job with it. I threw this on to fix the whole piece, and then I did my best not to ruin it. Um,
Yeah, that's all we do is kind of hang on by a thread. So.
yeah, and then just like, okay, I'll take the compliment, but also, yeah, this was done,
Can
you
I?
know,
Is it?
machine.
I can erase out of this, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because there's some
it's
stuff I
like
actually. I think I maybe want to keep a little bit.
I feel like there's no technique where you can't be like, "Oh, I think there's these 3 pixels here that
Yeah,
are
that's my bag. Honestly, that's how I do things. It's just like I like that the last difference layer. You know, like I was just like you were like, oh, that difference layer looks like shit. I was like, no, it doesn't. I'm seeing the parts where it works and just trying to isolate them. It's all about like just chipping away for me. So like
what I typically do is I just fill that layer with black and then I paint in only on the parts that are useful.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and then I'll often when I am using that, if it's not doing if as a whole if it's not really working, I'll also just bring it down to about 30% sometimes.
I'm gonna
And
throw
make it,
away that gradient map because fuck, those things are hard to work with.
gradient maps are easy to work with. It's the
For,
fucking difference layer that's the nightmare.
No, see, I think this comes down to like this is just the way we think. Like gradient maps make sense to you, different layers make sense to me.
They're easy as shit to mask. I mean, they work with a regular mask. So.
I think in the I don't know half dozen years I've been using Photoshop, I've made 2 layer masks. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I just paint. Like I have no fucking idea. Like
You're like, you know what? Layer masks are just confusing.
yeah, I was like I give up.
No, they're not. You're
Like
not.
I was like Control Shift C. That's like magic. It's gonna be my favorite thing. It's like the only Photoshop shortcut I know, other than like Control C, Control V. So, and Control J. I like Control J.
I don't even know what Control J does.
New layer from copy.
Oh, wild. Okay. So you can Control J, Control E if you want to just double the effect of any layer.
Yes, I do that a lot actually. Like
All
whenever I
right.
just want to like really nail a value or some hot color, I do that quite often. Toby Toon, yeah. Women don't make sense to me either. I don't. I'm not good at the thing. I managed to trick my girlfriend into liking me. I hope I can keep that up for the next 100 or so years.
You're not gonna live for 100 more years. I hate to break it to you.
Dude, I'm immortal. Like
None of us are.
I'm gonna live forever. Cause my mommy said I can do anything I want when I grow up.
Good. I am still trying to figure out exactly what difference is doing. Like that revelation that white is causing it to invert, I think is giving me a basis for starting to understand it. But then the fact that it works with colors, like I guess I need to do some experiments with pure tones to figure out.
Yeah,
Pure tone? Wait. Pure tones just. Oh my god. What the fuck?
You gotta understand.
Pure tones are just opaque?
It's not.
Or no,
just
they're
interacting
not.
with one thing. It's taking into account the value.
Oh, wait.
The
Oh, it
temperature.
works in both
In
directions.
every direction. It's not just that. It even peaks
Oh,
frequency. So
okay.
like you'll.
So painting. Okay, so say I'm painting a pure tone. Say I'm painting bright red, pure
Yeah.
red.
Okay.
Over black, it's going to come in as pure red. Over white, it's going to come in inverted as blue,
Yeah.
as a cyan.
Yeah.
Okay, so painting over, so it's not just it's not just the color you're applying. It's
No.
also the color which it's applying to.
Yeah.
There,
And that gets more
you painting
complicated.
white
with
over
more
black
layers.
is the same as painting black over white.
Yeah. But like you gotta also remember that the more layers of color you have, like it's interacting with all of it, every layer. You can't escape it, and this is why it's exciting for me because I never know what's gonna happen.
I just did a color fill over the whole thing, and I'm just like, whoa, this
Oh,
is
I want to
now
try
making
that.
sense to me.
I've never tried that. I want to try that. Hold
Oh,
on.
whoa. And
Let's
then if you
go
just,
pure red.
oh, this is the best. Okay, this is the best like uh
Oh, see, look at that.
early 90s acid trip simulator. Fill a the whole fill a whole difference layer with a pure tone, and then go to your hue
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing that
saturation,
right
and
now.
then just start rotating it slowly and watch the fucking uh
Oh, I need a
early
screensaver that does
70s.
this.
Oh man.
I love it.
Please tell me After Effects has this as a blending mode, because this is
I'm
just the
pretty. It does. It
stupidest.
does. It does.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Delightful,
Oh
right?
man, this is the fucking. I gotta like. It's creating these like. This is the shittiest, dumbest, most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, look at
Uh,
this. Like Pete Morbacker's been painting in Photoshop for how many years, and like
this is blowing my mind.
yeah, to see that his mind can still be blown is
Oh,
refreshing.
dude, no, this is a corner of this thing that I've never encountered before.
And
So,
like that little red experiment, like I just learned, I just saw like a bunch of neat stuff that I want to do now, so I'm going in with that pure red.
all right. So what I did with this, and this is amazing. I feel like I could restart whole paint, like take old paintings and restart them and make the most amazing fucking iridescent surreal color schemes with this.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So I I I just took a pure tone, and I ended up with like bright purple, and laid over the whole thing with a difference layer. And so it's make all the darks have turned into bright purple, and all the lights have turned into neon green.
Pete, when this stream is
They're-
over, don't quit the call. I really want to see what you're doing.
Okay. So it's just like I took all the nonsense, and then I copied it and put it on its own layer, and then changed that layer to color blending mode.
Mm-hmm.
So now like all the values are still intact, but now it's still got this like crazy neon color scheme, and I'm rotating through the hue slider with that, and it's just so I've still got the same value structure, but now I'm like replacing the entire color palette with this fucking neon nightmare. And
I love difference, man. Like this,
it's so weird. What happens if I difference this back down again? What's gonna happen? Ugh. Ugh.
man, and like it's really good for just re-injecting some color back into your shadows, like in your
It,
darks. Love it.
it's what the fuck, man. If I wanted to make some really counter intuitive visual decisions, I found a new way to break my paintings. This is the most broken I think I've been able to see one of my paintings in a long time.
Oh, I love it. Oh man, I really want to see it.
Holy fucking shit.
Oh, so I worked out my technical difficulties I was having last week.
Yeah?
With Photoshop lagging and whatnot. I thought I was gonna have to buy a new video card. I did not. I just needed to spend the $8 and buy an adapter so I can plug my Cintiq in to my video card along with my monitor.
Oh,
That's
so
all it was.
instead of using the onboard video, you're using the video is being processed on your stream's being rendered on the onboard video, and then
No, they're both on the video
the
card.
display is being rendered through the video card.
They're both on the video card.
Okay. Well, the video card's just gonna be a pull more weight, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's been. It's been. I feel. I don't even feel like this. I don't feel the stream anymore. So, which is pretty great because that was interfering with me. All right, so I got to a point where like the colors are poppy again, so I'm gonna need to do some work in unifying them. So what I do here, this is how I use soft light layers. Actually, a lot, like, pretty similar to the way you do, Pete. I think everybody maybe uses soft light this way, but I kind of do what you're doing with the difference layer and experimenting and see what colors you see. But I do it with soft light and just see if I can kind of get to a place where I can fill the air of it with one color. It's still really bright. And like ideally, like the painting won't look much different. There'll just be this color present in all of it. Lighter.
Yeah, I'm like the crazy shit that you're seeing right now. I mean, is sort of where I am on my monitor too. Like, fuck. There's a lot of weird stuff happening with my painting now.
I'm actually really excited to see what you're cooking up over there.
And I have no idea whether or not any of it's going to stick around because it's like it's fun enough where I'm kind of into it. This fucking difference layer over the whole thing is just so it's just like a like a psychedelic rock band poster, like concert poster. It's just like the most Grateful Dead ass fucking trashy neon colors, and I'm totally digging it because it's just dumb looking, which is great because it's just fuel to be able to make the oh man, what the fuck, 50% gray over on a difference layer is doing shit that I don't understand, and it makes everything look bad. And it's not like, okay, I kind of want to. If I just take the results and I invert them, is that a layer that then becomes useful?
Oh god, what's happening there? Let's explore that a little bit.
Whoa! Fuck! Yes! God damn it!
Man, your excitement is.
Oh man, this is the fucking. I took the results of that difference layer. That was like, I'm like, you put 50% gray over on a difference layer, and everything looks like shit. It just shitifies your whole fucking painting. I took the results of that and set it to difference, and what came back was like, was hard. It's hard to describe. It feels like my painting has been interpreted by a sentient American flag. Like, there's these weird bold colors. Things are blown out, but they're also like kind of working. But there's like so many new colors being introduced to it. It's like hard to even figure out what I'm looking at. And I'm trying to reblend it down again to see if anything it's going to do anything interesting. But it's making everything look like trash.
Yeah, and this is the thing about difference layers is you gotta kind of learn how to be selective. Like you have to be able to like turn your painting to shit, and then isolate visually the parts that are working.
I don't know. It's like I'm just trying to take like whole screen samples of weird results of different like and things, and then selecting bits off of them and. Like, yuck. What is... It's like... What does the painting look like if you take 50% gray, you set it to a difference layer, copy that, set that to a difference layer, copy that, and then set it to a color layer? And it's like, I don't know, man, but I'm fucking into it.
That's pretty much that's my whole bag. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm look at these hands. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm into it. You know,
this was like how I started some paintings that I really liked. Was I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna experiment. I'm gonna break this painting because I'm not trying to keep anything about it anyway. I might as well just break it.
Yeah, and that's my guide. Well, that's one of my guiding lights, I guess. I have quite a few of them, but nothing. I can't treat anything precious in these because, I like the effort of trying to preserve a small part of your painting is just gonna be to the detriment of the rest of it. I think. Oh God, look at this blue.
Yeah.
Look at this blue.
Like that's been a thing that was a part of my process for a while, but I got the hang of a lot of those tools, and so the fact that I knew what the results were going to be before I used them made it more difficult for me to break a painting.
Mm.
Like, well, I kind of know what's going to happen when I use a gradient map. It's just
Well, that makes one of us Pete. I don't know what the fuck's
um
happening with gradient maps.
yeah, so I mean, the fact that I know what's going to happen when I use a gradient map makes it so it's very hard to break the painting. But now I'm like, if I okay, what happens if there's so many questions? I have a new rabbit hole to fall down now.
Good, sweet, that's awesome. I'm glad I helped kind of put you there.
All right, so
I hope it drives you mad.
yeah, so no, I can puzzle, I can nightmare puzzle box my way out of this, like I always can. It's just a matter of how much time is it going to take. The um, if you difference, if you put a difference, a gray difference over a black and white image, all black versus white does is varying degrees of inversion.
Oh,
Okay,
I just made a new painting out of this painting.
you did
The guys in Twitch had a great idea.
put a cat on it.
I did it. I'm just gonna crop and call it done.
Okay.
Wow, Toby Toon, you just got hacker referenced by Nightbot. I
Oh, no, that's the best die like the rest.
Man,
I,
I actually I tweaked Nightbot to not be so aggressive. And wow, I don't know what you said, man, but oh jeez. That's awesome.
Nightbot has been invoked.
Yeah.
What is
I
this?
think Justin was very excited about the cat. I think it was his idea. Oh man, Nightbot deleted a lot of messages from Toby Toon. I have to scroll up almost the entire way just to. Oh man, did it just ban him?
I still see him.
Okay,
I
yeah,
see
he's
him
back.
making
He's back.
messages.
Okay, he's back. He's back. All right. Yeah, but like it deleted his messages pretty much to the beginning of chat. Fuck, that's brutal. Okay, I gotta work with Nightbot a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta set Nightbot straight again. Okay,
Can I give Toby Toon a title?
using that invert is surprisingly interesting, even just on a value level. Just like this is sort of shockingly interesting because I could get the same result out of a invert gradient map, not invert gradient, invert adjustment layer. Or no, wait, why no?
Why not what?
Why does this not work? It's not the same as an inverted
It's not.
an invert adjustment layer.
Like the difference
It's
is a whole. It's its own world, man. Like it's its own.
it is its own weird nightmare realm for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And
Oh, what
once you realize that and you get
man.
there, you know, you can. It's easy to make this place feel like home. 'Cause I love
Oh,
different shores.
like there's some again, my favorite thing that it's doing is being able just painting I set the whole layer to black, right? And at black it does nothing. It's completely transparent.
Mm-hmm.
But then just lightening it a little bit so it starts being dark gray. It starts
Yeah, like the black is there. It's just not. It's not.
it
being
starts
registered.
darkening it starts darkening things but in a very interesting and dynamic way.
Yeah.
Almost like
I'll show the
the
viewers.
exposure is being adjusted on the picture, not
Yeah.
like it's being blanket darkened, which is really great for things like vignetting. But after a certain threshold, it starts causing the darks to become light again, and it almost looks like when a hole gets burned in the middle of film.
Yep.
And I'm just like, whoa, okay. So
But
like,
look at
and
all
then
the
there's like
different
a,
color you get out of that.
oh my god, there's. I'm just working in black and white. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I took all the color out with a hue saturation layer, and I'm just working above it. And there's like a barrier, like a core shadow that's like on the edge of where it starts flipping over. I think it must be at 50% gray. It starts like instead of making things darker, it starts making dark things lighter also. Um, and it started using some like splatter brushes with it,
Oh yeah,
and the
nice.
fucking results are creating like weird two-tone splatter brushes.
Um,
What the fuck, man?
welcome to my world. But
God,
I
this
just
is
used your trick to pull out something from the nightmare realm of the black layer.
yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can make that work in this
The
piece.
black layer.
Yeah.
The darky zone.
Did you just say the darky zone? Oh my god. Oh, that's horrifying.
That
That
came
is,
out far worse than
yeah.
I thought
That
in my head.
we're just gonna move past that one.
Just put past that, please.
Yeah. So
What fuck,
the
man? This is so exciting. Oh my god, what is this doing? I want to use this. I'm going to use difference more before I get to color than to create like you're doing it in color using difference in black and white.
it gives you nice shapes.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the most interesting tool discovery I've had in Photoshop in the past 10 years.
That's
This is
exciting
so
to hear.
exciting.
I'm really glad I could be a part of that. I'm glad Twitch is here to be a part of that.
Yeah. Um so I'm starting to like brush. So I'm starting with black, solid black, because it's transparent, and I'm just trying different ways of applying white
But like,
so that it
here, let me show you something,
creates
Pete.
dynamic results.
The pieces I did for book 2 in Angelarium started out the way you're working. Here, I'll show you an example of one. You know, and like in black and white, it's really crisp and like delicious looking because it looks like you're just painting.
It starts to look almost like vintage film. Like it's very interesting, the value range that you get out of this.
So
Like,
this one, that's working black and white's indifference.
it
The
hasn't
rest of
come up
this
yet.
piece. No, yeah, I know.
But with the texture brushes going over the texture of the piece, and affecting it in this difference mode, creating really dynamic results. Oh, okay, cool.
You know, it's a really exciting way to paint, and like especially when you're blocking interest values, because like it lets you address big chunks of value while still getting like little fiddly bits that might turn into detail later.
But what's really, really crazy to me is like, so with a light touch, it starts to darken areas, and with a hard touch, it starts to lighten areas.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh, I want a big graphic shape that runs through the image. Like, oh, I want this to just be hard contrast. You just turn up the opacity, you go nuts with it, and you can get
Interesting stuff.
crazy results fast. Like just totally broken, completely breaking the value pattern, but also retaining a lot of texture
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't upset the value relationships underneath it. It just sort of turns them upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So on the low end, it's creating like new dynamic interactions, and then on the high end, it's just fucking breaking everything.
Pete, I wonder if we can do a quick screen share on Skype, and then because man, I really want to fucking see what you're doing.
I don't know if this is as exciting to everybody else as it is to me.
I don't care about everybody else. They can log out for like.
We can.
I just want to see.
I'll do a screen share on Skype, and you can see.
Oh, that's good. And I'm just kidding. I love you guys. Don't leave, please.
Okay. Can you see it?
I have
Yes.
a
I have a
painting.
screen share. You want to drag into your main window?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, it should catch up in a moment. Yeah, SkyPass Screen Share. It's actually a pretty useful tool for people who collaborate.
Yes, but you can't screen share with multiple parties unless you pay their subscription fee, which I did for a bit because I was using it for there was a gig where I was like supposed to be reviewing stuff. Okay, okay. So I see this on the thing now. Um, so I have a difference layer set to all black,
Hmm.
and then say I'm just taking a soft brush and I'm starting to paint white at like 10% opacity. And you can see I can start to vignette the edges. But it's actually it's while it's darkening these midtones, it's actually not darkening the lighter tones at the same rate. So you can see how like that graphic shape, the
Ooh.
white, still continues to pop through,
Yeah.
and it gives it this almost like film noir look to it because it starts to increase the contrast. It separates the lighter areas from the darker midtones.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Um, and so I'm able to like be like, oh, I want a darker shadow through here, and it's just like it's creating a really nice dynamic result where some parts are getting way darker. The contrast of it is getting really interesting, but like if I add too much, it starts to do
It
this.
starts to burn.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
starts to like it starts to burn through and in fucked up ways. So I started taking like a texture brush, right? And like, with the texture brush, you start getting like weird interactions where some parts of it are darkening, but then at other parts, like you can actually get it to start to like intentionally burn
Hmm.
in places to create texture. And then like the for like again like this is where using dynamic brushes is really going to make a huge difference because I only have a handful that I use, but putting like a cloudy brush over clouds, it's like multiplying the textures against each other, but in a way that isn't like really oppressive looking. Um, and you can go back and forth with it just by switching between white and black. And then I don't know. I just think like you can see how like the texture inside these bushes and stuff starts to like
Really pop. They feel more
start to
alive.
pop and build
Yeah.
up as I'm like layering different textured brushes on top of each other. At sometimes it's like, oh, it's making some areas simultaneously lighter and darker at the same time, but it's hard to predict entirely how.
Mm.
Um,
Ooh, I like it in the undercloak area.
yeah, and so like, I mean, I was trying to make a more abstract value pattern in there, and so I can it like starting to multiply textures on top of each other, which is what your method is so good at. Like um, starts to really really come into play when you're just working on the values here,
Hmm.
um, because it's not overriding any of the existing texture.
Yeah.
And it's not like overlay, eh, because like at any point I can go ahead and just like, all right, well, I want this to completely invert and turn light for no reason.
Yeah.
Or, if I wanted to, I can create like a sort of strange magical glowy effect or something.
Yeah, it's a lot like watercolor in the way it picks up colors around it, and you know, especially around the edges. Like it has watercolor edge, which I really dig.
Um, so I mean, at the like over color, like it's not always making like an interesting result, like a usable result. But like you can see how in the clouds it's causing this really the blue is not only darkening but it's richening as well.
Yeah, and I think what you're gonna see better results if you change that black to something more chromatic. Like if you go color, that information becomes colorful.
Yeah, but like just as like a starting point to like establish the
Oh,
value, like
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
really potentially a very interesting tool. And so here's the effects that I was getting that I was like freaking out over. Also, like fill this with all red.
Hmm. Hmm.
I start getting like
Yeah. And look at that range, you know? Like, look at all the stuff
Yeah.
happening in the background. This
Start
looks like
getting
this looks like the album cover to some like techno, you know, like some new age trance hip hop thing. I want to buy this album.
I know. It's just like this pure green, this pure neon green. It's just so fucking ugly, but it's like ugly in the best possible way. And so you can like start to copy this and reapply it in dynamic ways to actually create more tame, useful results out of this.
Yeah.
Playing around with inverting it and turning it upside down and like um, it's a interesting way of pulling, like part of the reason why the gradient map's so interesting is because it sort of brings color into the value space.
Mm-hmm.
And this is doing the same thing. And so it's an unexpected way of experimenting with
All right, Pete. I'm gonna put you back
color.
on the
Yeah,
second monitor because
she go and work in your painting.
I really want to paint right now.
Go paint. Oh, yuck.
Oh yuck!
No, I'm looking at my own thing.
I'm gonna keep your screen share up while I paint.
You can watch what I'm doing so you can at least
I've
see
got my own private. Oh, no,
where these yucks are coming from.
I can't actually. I have to keep on my own chat because you're not.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep up the chat. Full Zool or Suicide Squad. Yeah, it's kind of like this all neon Suicide Squad poster. We were talking Suicide Squad a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
Although I don't think either of us have seen it.
No, I have no intentions in seeing it actually. Oh God, look at that. It's...
Talking about my thing.
No.
Because I had just made it so that all the light colors turn bright magenta. I was like, God,
I did something.
If I ever get commissioned by some super rich DJ, I know exactly what tools I'm reaching for. It'd be amazing. Gonna make some really good screen prints.
Skrillex calls you up like, "Hey, brother."
Yo, this is Skrillex. This is what it sounds like. I need some bad art, yo.
Yep, that's it. That's it right there.
Whenever you wouldn't expect it, but every time I hang out with Skrillex, it always surprises me what that guy really sounds like.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. A little weird, but. Yeah.
Yo, I ordered some pizzas. My name's Skrillex.
God, look at that. Oh, when it catches up, look at that. I'm not even gonna erase it yet, but what it does to the form on the collar area is delicious. Yeah, I love different stories. I find painting in them exciting, and I can't really take credit for some of these decisions. Like, because it just does weird fucking shit, and I just hope like I can like make it look cool or fit the painting.
Don't understand why these things are happening.
Because pure energy, Pete.
Pure energy, I guess. Like real. There's one of the colors in my painting causes difference to just decide to like give up, just like just stops. Like there's like a weird peach tone that is just like we don't want to fuck with it. Really? So it just becomes like opaque.
Yep.
Well, no, only for certain colors. It's like I had managed to pick the exact green that was like the perfect complement for this one thing. So it was like underlapping under certain elements. What the fuck, man? I thought I was working on the wrong layer.
Yeah, it's like Photoshop vertigo. Like you just sometimes you don't know where the fuck you are, and like.
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah,
what's even happening right now?
Pretty exciting. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this, but I like what it's doing.
All right. The ideas for experiments I want to run
Good.
are just running through my head at light speed.
Good. That's great.
God, that's exciting. All right. Why didn't that do anything? Fuck.
I asked that question more times than I'm comfortable with admitting.
I was like, all right, bring on the craziness, and then it just like
just
literally does nothing. I'm like,
yeah.
wait a minute, why did that do nothing? Dude, there are so many fucking super interesting things you could do with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, I mean, like, uh, y-
Oh shit. The disk copy of was changed since you last opened it. Do you want to save anyway? I don't know what the fuck that means. We're gonna say yes.
save it.
Like
The
not
question
saving
is,
is
do you
not
want to
enough.
save it or not? The answer is definitely save
Always
it.
yes. Yeah. All right. I need a moment to just. I got a little crazy. I need to see if I need to pull back on some of this stuff. I'm gonna. Anybody in the audience have any questions? So you guys have been great, but particularly quiet.
I'm Bogarting the conversation here. Just
Yeah,
like
I'm about to just boot you.
you should boot me.
You're a
Probably.
terrible mod. You're not keeping track of chat. Doing your own
No.
fucking thing.
There's only like two comments from Toby Toon. I like Deadshot, and I don't know like, who the other cats in it are. Okay.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that movie at all. That movie, no. I wouldn't spend $5 to see that movie, and I wouldn't spend even if it was on Net. Well, I might watch it if it was on Netflix, but
Yeah, it's not get crazy here.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't spend money on that movie. Oh, you got your new stylus, Toby. That's great. We'll have to get on a call later, and you can fill me in on the details. Bort Gunnarsson has like a really good idea. Pete, we should try to figure out how to split screen something, and we could like duel. I think that would be fun.
Well, you could just bring up my screen share on half your screen and then paint on the other one, but
I don't want to do
doesn't
that.
sound very interesting.
No.
I mean, we could just have like shared audio streaming at the same time, then shared audio on one stream and tell people to mute the other one. Like,
Hi, Arcane Chroma. It is 7:30 p.m. where we are. So good evening. I think I remember you from earlier. I think you were in Pete's stream earlier. I remember the name standing out. I think.
Fucking Chroma has been on my stream a few times, going way back.
Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Do that kill my character game I showed you. Oh, that that's not a bad idea. I'm to explain a little bit about that in chat, Justin. Actually, I don't even remember the broad strokes of that game. I remember being amused by the concept. I am going to try to unify these colors a little more. Exclusion might be where I want to go with that. So exclusion is another great layer. I use it sparingly. It's mostly when I need to unify colors, but I don't want to add color. I want to take it away. And then when I erase out of that layer, I can re-inject some color, just brief. Yeah, Bort. Yeah, it definitely that idea of split screening totally makes sense when Pete and I are fanboying over Photoshop layers at the same time on different paintings. Yeah. That definitely would. If we could have done that on the fly here, or have the presence of mind to do it sooner, then that would have been cool. But maybe next time. So I like what Exclusion did with this piece, especially to the background. Like it really cooled down a lot of it cooled down everything. And in the background, it made it this kind of really prismatic gray. And I'm gonna try to keep a lot of that. I'm gonna try to pop some of my darks back in. Oh shit, that's a brush.
Yeah, okay. So there's like a whole category of layers I feel like I need to try now.
You trying Exclusion? You should try Exclusion. I think you'll dig it.
I mean, this is like I should have been using this the whole time to figure out to break my paintings. But just the fact that it's creating like interesting dynamic results is potentially good even late in the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just gonna add to your work. I think.
All right.
Hope it does.
Let's see. So with Exclusion, the thing with white and black is still pretty true. Is it different than?
It is true. But it makes it easier to use black. Essentially it's a difference layer that functions in the gray area. The gray. So when you go in with black, it actually just erases. So you're starting at a different point in the value range.
And subtract and divide appear to be inverts.
Yeah,
or no?
I like divide.
Subtract is the invert because white is transparent and black starts to create. Or no, wait, fuck, I'm lost again.
The divide
black is transparent on all of them except for divide where it's inverted.
Dividing white and reducing the opacity is interesting.
Dividing white is transparent and reducing the opacity does nothing.
Oh, I guess it depends on what you're working over. Are you working over a grayscale right now still? You still working black and white?
It's over color.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Maybe
you're confused.
Yeah, I may be. Hold on a second. Maybe try it here. So create a layer. Fill it with white.
Started putting color on a divide layer, and I'm just like, this is bad. This is a maybe. Yuck.
Yeah, I am confused. I'll try to remember what the hell the steps are. For
okay, divide. I think I get what it's doing, but I think it sucks.
Okay.
It's like a totally I can think of an application for divide. I just think it sucks.
That's fine. I mean, you're fucking wrong, but whatever.
Divide. Okay, so divide. Oh. Okay, the results are kind of interesting, but like I'm just doing color fills with divide, and it's sort of like creating the equal and opposite result on the canvas.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to say unify your color scheme and make it all cooler, what you do is you fill the whole canvas with a slightly warm color, and it'll unify and cool the canvas by making it more that. If you like, but it's like so easy to blow out your values because anything like that has any strength to it at all, any amount of color has any strength to it, starts to immediately cause things to blow out.
Yeah.
It blows out so fast.
If you bring down the opacity on the divide layer, it lets you manage that a little better. It mitigates the blowing out aspect.
Yeah. Making it a lot lighter also, so like anything that's near white starts to not be quite as oppressively terrible. It makes everything look just like over adjusted and kind of awful.
Well, Pete, you're fucking doing it wrong.
If you wanted to have like a kind of like overexposed, blown out look, it's a fast track to that. So it's potentially useful for like certain types of like lens effects, maybe.
Maybe. I don't use it too often. It usually like it's the solution to a
It's
problem,
like it's like the
to a particular
results
problem.
that I'm getting are like, what if you wanted to make the world's fucking ugliest lens flare?
Oh yeah, that's exactly the problem I try to solve.
Yeah, if you really wanted to make like the ugliest lens flare in the world, it's there for you. Um,
I'm really happy about this exclusion layer. I am gonna try to get some of that pink back in. I think. Yeah, there it is. Oh god, that's a lot.
the lightest dusting of a divide layer can potentially create something kind of interesting. I just can't imagine that it's more useful than hard light for the same application.
No, no, yeah, and you're right. Like I said, like it's usually the solution to a very specific problem, and so I pull it out when it arises. I don't like I can't paint and divide because it's a little too on. It's very far on the spectrum of color range, so there's very little control within it. But I
All
think it
right.
does some interesting stuff.
I disagree. I think as much as I'm like super hyped for difference and possibly exclusion, divide is a fucking shit show.
Okay, all right. It's not for everybody. It's
Uh,
just for the pros, I guess.
yeah. It's a throw only technique.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right.
Uh,
Not everybody can be me.
I think I hate subtract too. I'm playing around with subtract, and I think I hate that as well.
I don't like subtract.
What the
It
fuck?
does stuff, but I don't like subtract.
It's doing something. I don't like it.
That's fine. You should hate it. In fact, let's start a club in which we hate subtract.
Subtract feels like the divide but turned inside out, where it's like, ugh, any use of a light color just turns everything to black. Like any amount of lightness laid over the image with subtract causes it to like go to black almost immediately. So it's like instead of causing it to blow out, it's causing it to like burn super bad.
Mm.
So it's just like if you wanted a dodge tool that was, if you wanted to like strap a rocket engine to your dodge tool or your burn tool, like you're fucking there. That's what subtract can do. It answers the question: what if what if the burn tool? What if you needed like the burn tool to be used, but 1,000 times more powerful? Like a fucking flamethrower over your painting. It's a nightmare.
So you
All
don't
right,
like it.
don't like it. Exclusion. Exclusion feels just like a different type of difference,
It is.
right?
It is. It's a if difference functions in 100% black or and 100% white, exclusion functions in 50% gray.
Okay. Whoa. What?
I'm being congratulated because people want to eat my work because it looks like spoiled meat. I don't think people want to eat my work.
That's not a thing that you do.
Yeah, I think they recognize it looks like spoiled meat. I don't think they want to eat it. So I'm not quite at Morse
No,
deck level.
don't eat spoiled meat. You heard it here first. Um,
For anybody just joining us, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. I'm Eli Manaya. I'm here with Pete Morbacher,
hey,
and
hey,
we're just
bitching
wasting
about
time.
blending
Yeah, we're
modes.
bitching about blending modes while painting our paintings.
Um, I feel like I'm losing the script entirely because I don't even think my painting looks right anymore when I put it back to the way that it was. I like my ability to see has been broken. Uh, this blending mode has actually caused me to like lose my ability to see how
I'm gonna tweet that.
color value is
I
supposed
just,
to work.
I just broke Pete Morbacher.
Yeah, so difference is interesting because it's creating some of the same like dynamic interactions that I mean, exclusion is doing some of the same thing that difference is doing, but it's producing a much more washed out result.
Yeah.
So it may actually be better for like sort of a light later touch. I don't know. One sec, I'm gonna be back in just a minute.
Yeah, take your time. I broke Pete. Yeah, I just tweeted that too. This is a first. And you saw it here live. Like he's going off to go cry somewhere. He's like, I can't. I don't know what's happening. I just can't deal with this. It's too much. It's too much. So yeah, so you're getting kind of like. I'm actually really glad Pete was here to try it. Because like this is kind of it's the experience I went through when I started using difference layers, and it's hard to reproduce that when you've already been using them, and it's exciting and refreshing to hear Pete, who is an accomplished digital painter, kind of go nuts over difference layers. So I know I'm not alone now. I'm like, oh shit, it's not this isolated incident. I'm not weird. I mean, I am, but not because of how I paint. So I really like how the exclusion layer cooled everything down. Like, fuck, that's gonna be fun to like really dig out some highlights and like, let's try that now. Let's just go for broke on this one. I'm gonna drop in a difference layer. I'm gonna go straight to white. Let's see what that does. And Toby Toon, I've known you for a lot of years. That I haven't described you as a lukewarm bowl of deep thoughts is I feel it's a disappointment. Like it's a failing in my life. I wish I had gotten there first. Because yes, you are a lukewarm bowl of deep thoughts. I love you, buddy. Oh man, look at that white go. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna pop that hip out a little bit. Like this part is where like difference layer starts to really feel like real paint, because like it looks like real paint. Like like it's doing this thing that is multi. It's very colorful. It's very chromatic. It's very interactive because it's interacting with all the layers. CB, Brad, Teddy Ruxton. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Oh man, look at that blue. I want to do like some. I have this inclination to do like weird writing, like like letters or something in this area here. Man, that would be super cool. I wish Pete would come back. Pete, are you there? He's got he's been meaning to send. Like, we have an Angelic script for Angelarium. And man, it would be really great if I could sneak some of that into this piece. So look at that. Yeah, CB, I heard that too. I thought of you immediately, and I was like, I just need to find the right meme for this, and I haven't had a chance to, but you're gonna feel the brunt of them rebooting Teddy Ruxpin. That little bit of red, like like for me, like when that happens, like I feel like Pete because like I don't know why that happens at all, but yeah. I need a little guidance on this area here, so we're gonna drop a guide. I really want that to feel round, so we're gonna just. Oop. See, even with the guide, I suck at painting. Just kind of soften it a bit. Yeah, see, that's okay. It's like, man, I kind of want to lean into that a little bit. Let's have a little fun with edges. It's like third grade all over again. Man, I kind of wish I knew you as a third grader. Ooh, that's not gonna work. Oh, no, that's gross. That's not staying. That's my go-to scribble. I teach a class for I teach a couple classes. One of them is for kids, like first graders, right? And I've had a couple of students who like all they want to do is fucking scribble, and they revel in that shit. And I'm like, I want to let them do it, because like they're like super into it. But I'm like, man, like their parents are paying for this class. I'm like, man, they need to see that they're drawing stuff. I can't have them just scribble all day. So it's been really painful to tell them they can't scribble when they clearly love to do it. CB, I'm still teaching at Moses Brown, which I've been doing, and I'm teaching at Tufts University now. I am teaching at the college level for the first time. I'm very excited about that. Oh, this is gonna get really crazy. Man, Pete's still crying. I didn't realize this thing was gonna hit him so hard. I feel a little bad now. Thanks, Brad. I'm really excited. It's been pretty fun, and like I think you might appreciate this, like coming up with like a lesson plan and then going in and teaching kids, like teaching students. They're not kids, a lot of them, they're in their 20s, and like having them like do your assignments and having it work. It's like watching a combo deck like just take off like on first turn. It's just awesome. I should get a new rig. I figured out a lot of the technical problems I was having before, and it's looking like I might be okay with just maybe a video card upgrade. Because like, so the problem I was having before is I had my drawing tablet, my Cintiq, plugged into the onboard video card, and I had my monitor plugged in on my GPU, and my GeForce, and so that the onboard wasn't able to keep up with Photoshop, so I was getting a lot of system lag there. But I bought the adapter and I plugged my Cintiq into my video card alongside my monitor, and now everything's chugging along pretty nicely. It's pretty smooth. I've had no issues today. I'm not feeling the stream anymore. Everything's responsive. So if I am gonna upgrade anything, it's gonna be a video card. And that's mostly just an excuse. Like if I say it's for work, I can get some better graphics out of my video games. So I'm okay with that.
I'm back.
We just ended the stream.
Good.
But yeah, Brad, we should definitely talk video cards. I would love to pick your brain about that. I found one that's kind of within my budget, but you let me know what you think of it, and if that's
Just
the
get
one.
that 1080, man.
The what? No, man, no.
Go for the 1080.
No. I'm not spending $400 on a video card. I'm just not gonna do it. No.
It's very reasonable.
Yeah, that's no. But I might spend $250 on a video card. If I can get under 200, I would love that. Pie in the sky, I would love that. And Brad, I'm on a 550 right now, so like anything is an upgrade at this point. So, work your magic, buddy. Brad's been like my de facto tech guy for like 20 years. Like he built my first gaming computer like in 1996. So I can play Asheron's Call. Oh man, good times.
So have you completely walked away from the green? Like, what happened?
What green? Oh, the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
What's gonna happen? Because I was like, oh, you're inches from being done, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna turn the entire color palette up inside out.
Yeah, and I kind of like, and it's fun. You know what's really funny is that I was able to hit this color in the background with the gradient map 2 sessions ago, and I liked it, but I didn't know what to do. Like I was lost in the woods. I was like, fuck, I don't know where to go. But here I am. I found my way back to it, and I'm, chugging along. I'm like, yeah, all right, I know where I'm going now. I needed the in between steps. I think the gradient map got me there a little too soon.
It's pure madness. Still don't understand it.
Different layers?
No,
Me either, man.
Yeah, but also just like I was like, oh my god, you're so close. You just you got all the elements resolved. It seems like you're just trying to tune it at this point, and you're like,
boom.
Nah. I think I'm just gonna completely change the color palette and the value relationships and just
Yeah. Now you know why the Seraphim took so fucking long.
Jesus. You're kidding.
But there's some things I want to kind of restore, like the hands, for instance. Like this hand is so not finished, but I am not painting anymore on it. Like I really like the weird roughness of it.
I thought difference and exclusion were going to be really similar in terms of like, this one's just a little bit harsher than that one. Difference between like overlay and hard light,
Nope.
or overlay and soft light. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm working with in an exclusion layer. I'm getting some results that I like, some results I don't like. What happens if I turn it up a notch by changing it to difference? And it's like, oh, it's entirely different, completely different.
Yep. And like the combinations of the two, man, like they'll surprise you. Like they will absolutely surprise you. So on a separate note, so I changed the name of the channel, right, to Bad Kingdom, and like I love seeing all these crowns in my fucking chat screen. I love that. So yeah, guys, welcome to Bad Kingdom.
Arcane Chroma says 1070.
Yeah, you know what? I think I trust Arcane Chroma's work more than I do yours. So
okay.
I'm going to do it. Thanks, Arcane.
I was really hoping you go for the 1070. I was just saying 1080 to see if I could get you back down to that point.
Oh, man. No, I should upgrade my GPU. I mean, everything's working fine for now, but am saying things. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. That's crap. That's not good stream practice. This is totally space out on the sentence you're trying to make. Oh man. I want to do some. I want to get like a hot bit of color on the orb in this.
CB says 1070. The survey is definitely in favor of the 1070.
Find me a good price and a 1070, like a price I can't say no to, and I will buy a 1070. But like retail off the shelf, fuck no. Mm-mm. I could spend that money on so many different things that I would much rather spend it on.
And you know, on a newer model graphics card like that, I don't know if you really see a lot of variation in the retail price, right? Like
this is what I'm saying. Like when the 1170 comes out, we'll talk about the 1070.
Well, the thing about the 1070 that everyone loves so much, and this I thought when I first heard about it, I was like, this is too good to be true. I really hope this thing works out the way they promise. Was that like the 1070 came out cheaper than the cheapest. Like the 1080 came out at a price point similar to the lower end of the 9 series, so it was actually like cheaper than like a 970. The 1080 was, and then the 1070 comes out and it's like fucking cheaper still. It's like this generation of cards came out being significantly cheaper than the previous generation, so that it was just way easier to buy into.
Oh, I did notice that. Yeah.
The 1070 is like what you would normally pay for like a middle low end graphics card, but it benchmarks significantly higher than the best graphics cards that you could have bought from last generation. So it's just like this noticeable leap forward in performance for no additional cost over the previous generation's model, and then it just makes buying into like the best in class graphics like very easy.
Yeah, I remember when the 9 series came out, like they were on the verge of pricing themselves out of their own fucking market. I'm like, these were prohibitively expensive. I'm like,
I was like, what, like $800 for like
yeah. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? No, I could build a cool computer with that, and no. It's actually why I didn't like. I was when the 9 series hit, I was poised to upgrade. I was like, I'm on a 550. It's about goddamn time. And then they dropped that $800. I was like, nope.
I think I have a 980.
Yeah. So
no, I think I got a 970.
Yeah. See, I can get a 960 right now for under $200, and I'm thinking that's all right. Like I'm thinking a 960, the gigabyte version of it, which gets really good reviews. It puts me one generation behind, and I don't have to feel guilty about my purchase.
I thought the 1070 was going to be cheaper. I was just looking it up. You can get it for $400.
Oh, nice, Brad. I forgot. Yeah, you've got like a hardcore rig set up. It's like Brad's in computers. Like that's what he does. Last time I saw his rig, it was impressive. It was like the Matrix.
His vape rig?
No, yeah. not his vape rig.
Last time, yeah. Fucking vaping.
I'm gonna do something with these arms. Let's get a little crazy.
I'm playing around with just doing light dusting of difference on top of a painting that's already far along, and it's really interesting because it's giving me these really chromatic results. So like any areas that are flat or dull or too dark, like playing around with a few different applications of difference on top of it is giving it really significant improvements.
Yeah.
Without a lot of work.
So Brad, you want to weigh in? What do you think? The 960 at $180, like, is it really that? Like, or is it worth the extra $220 to get the 1080, 1070, whatever it is? I need a quiet moment. Shit. That's weird. The volume just dropped out as I said that. Is everybody still there? Pete? I think I lost Pete.
Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second there.
Okay, I was looking at my computer like, shit, this is what I get for talking smack about my computer. It's just gonna die on me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you're saying, Eli. I thought we had something special.
Yeah, he was muted, Toby. I need a more comfortable chair or sitting setup because my back is killing me right now.
We were talking artist health a little bit earlier. I have never had a problem with back issues.
I didn't until I started working on the Cintiq. Because like it's not in my lap, it's a little off to the side. So I think I'm just gonna rearrange it and put put it so that I can sit back and have it right in front of me. So I can sit back and work because every so often you'll see me sit back in my chair and just like let my muscles reset and take a sip of wine. I think it's that time. It's 8 o'clock.
Oh, it is? I think the difference thing, the verdict for me is that this is the most interesting way I've seen of adding texture, for sure. But with that in mind, I need to get some new fucking brushes.
Dude, Kyle Webster, just go. Just buy the mega pack. It's like $9.
Okay.
Just fucking do it and play.
It's not the spending money on brushes I have a problem with. I mean,
no, I'm just saying that this is how little a difference there should be. This is a no-brainer. Like,
no, the hard part is that loading them up, the fucking Photoshop brush management is terrible.
Actually, he makes it really easy, and he puts the instruction manual in with the brushes, and it's like a 2-step process. Like you'll be done in seconds. It's really not that complicated.
Well, it's just like browsing through them and figuring out which one I'm playing with and like stuff like that.
Like refamiliarizing yourself with your brush palette is a time-consuming process. Yeah, and I went through it.
Yeah. That's the part that I'm dreading and why I would avoid it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And like the mega pack is hundreds of brushes.
Right. I just like I can barely sort through the modest brush set that I have right now, and so the idea of adding hundreds of brushes to me sounds like an imposition.
Yeah. What I did was like, once I installed them all, I took some time in the afternoon, like it was actually in the morning. I was drinking my coffee, and I just went through each brush, and I wrote down the ones I liked on a post-it note. Seriously, like I was like, you know what, this is gonna have to happen.
I use my tool presets for that.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
Sounds like I could basically reset my tool presets tab.
Yeah. So I just went through each one, figured out the ones that seemed interesting, the ones that I immediately liked, things that replicated traditional media that I work in, and I made note of that stuff, and that's where I started. Anything that's not on those post-it notes, I don't touch. It's a quick way to just kind of whittle it down. But yeah, new brushes are going to be integral. The brush I'm using right now, if you're interested in it, I can send you the file. It's not a Kyle Webster brush, and I don't know where I got it.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I was going to send you that font. I have it on my desktop.
Please do. I was just talking. Oh, actually, I was just saying while you were gone. There's a spot here I want to just like add some like graphic shapes too, and I think the Angelico script is perfect for that. So if he could do
So
that,
there's two files you need. One of them is the font, and the other one is the font key. Like to tell like what letters are going to make
I give no
which
fucks about that right
characters.
now. I
Okay, if we're
just
just
want
gonna make like random ones, it
yeah,
shouldn't be a
I
problem.
just want graphic shapes right now, and if it's at least to the tone of the script, I'm okay with that. I'll worry about spelling shit later. Oh yeah, I gotta readdress the org thing up here because that got screwed up. Yeah, when I was resizing the
Well,
arms,
you
it
have the
did that
script.
with me.
I'm attaching the script key also so that
So I have it.
yeah. Oh wait. Sorry, it's the wrong one. It's the old one. We remapped the whole thing. At first I was trying to map it to a Hebrew keyboard, and then I discovered that that was a terrible idea. Because we could, it was like really, really hard to tell what keys were producing which letters.
Mm.
Fuck. What?
Artifacts. I also hope that your body evolves and starts seeing these streams in sleep. If I know a scientist who would be very interested in writing a paper about that. That's I appreciate the devotion. It's 3 a.m. where you are. So good night. He might have already logged, but he said he'd watch the archive. Just appreciate it. Yeah, Bort, I had the same problems with customization issues. I gave up. I just know. Like Photoshop functions one way. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I'm gonna do my thing. You know, we're just acquaintances at this point. Yeah, see, like this gray down here just feels like smeared thin paint, and fuck, I love that. I had nothing to do with that. All right, so it's 8:10. I need a quick break. I just gotta stretch my legs, so I'm gonna leave this here, and I'll be back. Oh shit! I gotta plug in my headphones. They're about to die. I'm just gonna run downstairs and see if my dog needs to do a business. So I am back. My dog is actually passed out on the
Down
floor. I'm getting some sort of weird feedback.
Weird feedback? You think it's from me?
No, because I heard my own voice echo for some reason. I think it was just a glitch. I'm trying to find a USB cord real quick so I can plug my headphones into my battery pack because my cable's all tangled up. Oh, that's useful. Yeah, I think a lot of my discomfort right now is I couldn't figure out noise gate fast enough, and so my AC is off right now, and it's super hot in my room right now.
Oh, so there's a thing about the noise gate that's important to know, and that's the fact that it doesn't preview until you go live.
Oh yeah, I was I made recordings with it, and I just played them back, and
Oh, okay.
and I couldn't find the sweet spot for it.
Oh, so yeah, the close is you when you look at the preview, you'll see the green bar going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You set the close just above where the green bar ends, and then you set open just they recommend around 4 to 6 decibels above that.
Okay, let me see if I can
That should be it.
spot that.
It's pretty easy. It seems like.
I would love to turn my AC on right now.
If you bring up the settings inside your screen capture, I can look at it with you.
Alright, so I just raised the close threshold. You'll see that pop up in a second. Oop. Alright, so it should be up on the stream now.
Yeah, you need to raise that close threshold
Yep.
and then raise the open threshold just above that. You want the close threshold higher.
Okay. It's like how high?
You want it to be. You want the close threshold to be above the top of the green bar by a little bit.
While I'm talking or while I'm silent?
Where you're silent.
Okay. How's that look? Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's too high.
No, it's catching up. It's catching up. No, how's that
It's
look?
like- That looks good to me right now, but you want to have the open threshold higher. So the open threshold is going to be the point where it's going to like. You want it to stay open. You don't want it to accidentally close while you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if your closed threshold's at 40 -40 you want your open threshold at like 48-50.
Right, but when I
Or
say
no, sorry, yeah, at -40 to 38. Yeah, like there. That should be good. Should be it. You hit apply. I don't know if you're gonna need to restart the stream to get it to apply, but at the very least, it'll work next time, and it should eliminate your air conditioning noise.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll try it later. Thanks for your patience, guys. I know that wasn't particularly interesting, but you know, like I mentioned a few times, the Twitch is still a learning process, and you know that's actually been a lot of fun too, like the tinkering aspect. You know, like futzing with settings and equipment and all that stuff. I got a pop screen for my mic, and I'm like, I feel legit now. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get Twitch overlays running.
Mm-hmm. I got
and
yeah, I figured out some. I made some like I'm on break weight screens. And like a starting soon screen, which is they're both the same GIF, honestly, but yeah, I was pretty proud of that.
yeah, I need to do something like that too. I need to make some. I need to make some graphics and.
All right, so we're at the point in the stream where really we're not painting; we're just getting drunk. Well, I am.
I'm actually painting. I'm trying out some stuff with the difference layer, how to like paint it into spots to really get a full dynamic results
Mm.
out of it, but using, adapt it into my painting routine, which
Yeah,
is
sure.
significantly different than yours. And
Yeah.
it is occasionally doing something good, but also I'm constantly wondering if it's just doing a worse job than another tool. Um,
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of the nature of Photoshop. Like there's a million tools to do the same fucking thing, and you know,
it's like, okay, well, I have a blue selected, but it's creating a red. Like, that's counterintuitive, but is it actually creating an interesting dynamic result? Like, would I get the same results out of just painting on normal layer with red? But it seems like when I'm doing big scribbles, going over lots of stuff, and it's creating really, really different areas, like that's potentially cool. Or like
yeah,
having a magical effect that's doing like creating an inverse of whatever colors behind it is kind of cool.
yeah. I mean, that's one of the things
It,
I like about
it,
difference is it outputs so much information. It really gives you a lot to choose from.
yeah. The thing it seems to be genuinely doing well without argument is that um, multiplying two textures together, like having one set of strokes, you know, add in a complementary color without erasing the texture that was already underneath it
Mm.
in an interesting way. So like me making shadow areas feel more, you know, dynamic. I'm getting that. That result is happening.
Man, the stream got really quiet. Sorry,
We're both
guys.
I think we're both contemplating.
Yeah, well, I'm painting, but like I'm really trying to. Like, I got dangerously close to the zone there.
Yeah.
That's not good for stream.
I'm doing a little experiment and it's like deciding whether or not it's worth keeping. What I really need to do is I need to upload the results of the past couple of days' work to my Patreon because those guys are supposed to be in the fast loop,
Yeah.
and this time around, I've been too slow about getting results of the work to them. So the big thing I wasn't talking about in my stream earlier was I'm trying to any adjustments I make to the content are supposed to be um, are intended to like fulfill a greater narrative purpose,
Mm-hmm.
like not like story narrative, but the emotional narrative of the piece,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I feel like I started at a weaker place with that than many other pieces I've done. Like I had a bunch of things that I thought looked cool. I had a design I was going off of. I had a piece I wanted to make visually, but narratively less so. And those pieces have historically done worse for me.
Yeah,
But
I get that.
I have ideas on what I want to do with it to move it towards a more narratively involved state, but that requires me to make changes, and I unlike you, I do not like making late in the game changes, so
Yeah, so for me,
I'm struggling with that.
like you look at the painting, like where you notice when it was green, like you looked at it and you thought it was late in the game. I never thought that. Um, like that painting, like the painting was not finished to me at all. Um, so like, but I do get that. But admittedly, I am less resistant to making sweeping changes. And a lot of that is because like so much of what I'm doing is on the fly anyway. So it's just part of the process of making this night. Um, this is why like when we're working together on Angelarium stuff, like revisions normally aren't a big deal because I'm like, whatever, as long as it gets to a place that's good. Well, the Seraphim was tougher because one, I was not in a good place. I was super miserable about making art at the time, and you know, I just I really wanted to be finished. um,
You got there eventually.
yeah, yeah, and like I feel good about those pieces. I think there's some little things I want to refine before it goes to print, but nothing major, nothing anybody's gonna notice. This is mostly just for my own sake. Little things I want to clean up. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Seraphim were fun. It was nice not having to I now understand like where you were with the emanations. Like it's nice to not have to think about you know
What the design's gonna be.
yeah, like that's super liberating, and like that put me in a position where I could make decisions and like really riff off your designs, and which kind of helped kind of accent my own voice a little more. So I got more out of working off of your designs than I did designing the the emanations as far as like learning is concerned. It
That's
was
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a. It was great to work with a series of designs that I was able to relate to, but without having to actually do the work.
Mm.
Um, and when I got to do like the revision, the revised versions, like the um, Seraphim you were building off of, were all like ones from that were redesigned from the original series. Like those were really good for me. I had a really nice time revisiting old designs where I was like, I know what this thing is supposed to be. I know what the character of it's supposed to be. I know what the major design gags are going to be. I just don't know exactly how it's all going to come together yet. Like I'm trying to interpret this thing in a way that's going to be interesting, and that was way different than like the hardest ones were all the Watchers because I had to both design them and illustrate them back to back,
Yeah.
and like on a fairly tight time deadline too, where I was like, I needed to figure out what the nature of them were, but I also needed to like have a gesture for a pose and like create the narrative for the piece, and like it ended up being a really difficult challenge to get some of those done. Like I was really struggling to find unique personalities for them while also create illustrations I was proud of. And
Yeah, it's definitely pulling double duty.
yeah, I felt like I had to work twice as hard to get those done. But in the end, I'm really that's part of the reason why I'm so satisfied with that body of work is because I had to put way more into it to get it done, and then
Yeah.
I feel like the majority of them have something going on. Like as a set, especially, I'm happy with it, and like people were immediate when I switched back to Seraphim, people were immediately like, "Wait, why are these all different?" It's like
Hmm.
different types of angels, like
Yeah. And the language is different, and that's that. I think that's
yeah.
the unique thing that that we've been able to, you know, like at least my involvement's a lot smaller because I'm only involved with the nations, but like each one of these sets has a different visual language. You know, and like when somebody else is designing, that's obviously the case, but you're able to
I'm glad
create.
there's only three fucking sets. I would have died trying to create a fourth language.
Oh god, yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been
Doing the one was. I don't think I would. Like so the design language of the emanations is so much a part of who I am as an artist that it's. I don't think I could have come up with a second design language. At least not as quickly as I did with the emanations. Um, and like that would have been just a gargantuan feat. And
what's gonna be really fun is now I have three different like styles to evolve and play with
yeah,
over time.
yeah,
So like I can do a landscape that's more in an emanation style, even like
yeah. I mean, and me too, for that matter. I mean, like I think I have two now. You know, having worked on animations, and honestly, like this piece, not the animations of Seraphim. This piece comes directly from my experience with Seraphim. You know, like I learned a
yeah.
lot working on those pieces, um, and you know, it's been really exciting. Um, and I wanted to get this one finished in time so that I could maybe take some prints to New York Con, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
New York's right around the corner. I'm
It's this week, right?
this week.
Thursday.
Oh, it makes you got time to mess with this stuff. I guess because you're not setting up a huge booth,
Yeah,
you've only got things you need to bring with.
yeah, exactly. Like this is nothing compared to what you brought to Dragon Con or Gen Con. Like I've got a couple cases of boxes and some card decks. I got a new banner. Um, you know, the table runner, and that's pretty much it. You know, like little things like my pop up stands and you know stuff
Speaking of
for the
table
table.
runners, I was thinking about picking up a table runner for uh, San Antonio, and I keep forgetting.
Their sale's still going on at Buzz Banner. By the way, they fucked up my banner twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
twice.
not happy with that. And like I don't have time to fix it the second time around. So I'm just gonna go with like
How'd they fuck it up?
super fucking dark. I even the second time around I sent them a lighter file. Like I blew out the values. Like I would much rather this be like blown out to white than dark.
Oh,
And they sent me the same fucking banner twice. I'm like you gotta be fucking kidding me.
oh, is that like a stand-up
Yeah, one of those
banner?
stand up deals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never gotten anything from them. All I got was the runner, the
Yeah,
one
no,
color runner.
I'm not using banner, but for
Most
that, yeah.
printers, yeah, I wouldn't get printer. I wouldn't get banners from them. I mean, I've never met anyone who's used them for a banner.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not happy with it. Like they're gonna hear from me as soon as New York Con is over. Arcane Chroma's got a question. Do you guys worry much about what the character designs for the angels will look like? I guess in comparison to other angels. Oh, will look like from other angles.
Oh, angles. Sometimes. Um,
we actually we talk about this. We've talked about this before. Razio.
the emanations are intentionally impossible at times,
Yeah,
where like
like Metza.
they
Your version of
yeah
Metza is like that.
yeah like because there's so much about the perception of them that it's not really important to have them
Turn
be like a
around.
3D model you could rotate. Like if they were to ever be done in CG, like they would also be the shots would have to be staged to like
Because
accommodate their
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
impossibility.
because like it's from the very beginning, the design language is about the context of their action and you know and their depiction. If you start fucking with that by turning it and whatnot, then you lose that context. And I think because
But you can maintain the design language
yes,
of them
That's what I was gonna
between
get to.
illustrations.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like you can
Like
still
you're able
keep those
to.
gimmicks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think a lot of because you and I were working within the same context, we both knew what those things were supposed to be. It was easy to get there. But if like we were to hand them off to like random 3D printer, uh, you know like I like there's no context in that. Like a statue of Yesod doesn't make sense because you lose all the context. Like you're just looking at a skeleton essentially. Um, so so yeah, like we're not super. Well, I know when I was designing, I wasn't worried about earning them in any real way, and I was very pleased to see that Pete was able to capture uh, the context and the design
Yeah, like
and really make
depending
them.
on the angle of them, the actual like 3D solving of their design would probably change.
Yeah.
Um, that's that's actually I think a core tenet to that series and that style is that if we do more of them, no, let's say when we do more of them,
One, yeah,
that there's yeah the
doing one right now.
yeah they're gonna morph a little bit in terms of like what I think mine are probably gonna stay a lot closer
Mm-hmm.
to the original to the first illustrations
I
than
think,
Eli
yeah,
are,
yeah,
but they're
because
still going to change dramatically in their construction at
like
times.
I
You know,
feel I feel a little freer from the subject matter now that there's like time between it and like the book is out and the designs are set and like I feel like now I can like step into your shoes with my designs and like just riff, and like interpret. Um, like because like because like I'm painting this and I'm not really concerned about the content anymore. Like it is what it is. Right now I'm just painting, having fun, hopefully making something cool that people will like. Um, so it's like that stuff is it's done. Like I know what the language of these characters are and the content and the context. It's already a part of you know the decision making that I'm making. Like bringing the cage back in on Hakma here um, happened because of that. What's going on my screen? Man, it is super hot. I have like the window open right next to me and there's no breeze.
the uh, the the 3D version of Mickey Mouse from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, his ears never change their angle. They always appear to be facing straight forwards towards the camera. Yeah, it's like one of those in like N64 games would have the sprites like the trees in Mario 64 would always face towards the camera like rather than 3D model a tree or even have like you'd see in some like PlayStation games they would have just a tree was two flat planes at right angles that each had the same picture of a tree on them. So it would always sort of approximate looking at a tree from a distance, but it looked like a cardboard cutout up close. The way that they would fake it sometimes is they would just always have it face the camera, like or like the sprites from Doom would always face the camera. It was always relative to the viewer. And yeah, I think that there's a certain amount of that with. I think that if you were to walk around one of these emanations in a circle, it would probably morph in shape as you walked
See,
around.
in my mind, they vanish.
Think that they would just become invisible.
Yeah, I think because like it's so much of it from like the research is like about perspective. If you
Hmm.
change that perspective, it's just not there. Um, that's always been part of my design language for that. It's just like they exist in
Well,
this way because this is how you have
I
to
was
see them.
talking earlier today about my obsession with those sort of multi-dimensional depictions. I think that in my mind, the emanations in motion would always be like, sort of four-dimensional beings that would um, look very strange and be difficult to keep track of visually, because any rotating four-dimensional object just looks almost like it's moving in random, almost nonsensical patterns.
Mm.
But it makes sense if you wholly understand how its structure works in a higher dimension, which is very difficult to hold in your mind. I found it almost nearly impossible. There's a game coming out called I think it's called Mikagura.
I'm not familiar.
Okay. Me. Do.
Toby Toon says something I've picked up from the studio is just how often shots can be decided by how a character looks from an angle. If you ever watched that, oh, you already addressed this. Never mind. Yeah.
Ah, Migakure.
Want to toss me a link?
There's a game called Migakure, which is a um, puzzle game where you are a 3D character moving in a four-dimensional space, and like you can run around the environment and you can like move stuff, and but there's a key that you can rotate the world on a four-dimensional axis centered around yourself, and it causes all the objects in the game are actually rendered in 4D, which is astounding, and you get to watch them morph and change as they rotate in the fourth dimension,
You want to
which
throw up a
you don't
link?
really get to see. Yeah, pop a link to the thing's website. I've been having my eye on this game for a long time, and every demo continues to impress, and I'm excited. I've been excited to play it since the very beginning, and it has like a whole demo of like how even the most basic, like very very basically, like what are you looking at, how do you interact with it, is difficult to explain, because it's fundamentally difficult for our brains to wrap our heads around four-dimensional space, because under the best circumstances, all we can see is a 3D projection of a four-dimensional space because we can never perceive
Yeah.
a four-dimensional object in four dimensions. So these three-dimensional projections come across as very strange and difficult to predict. But they, my hope is that through some sort of exposure to it, that I could theoretically at some point start to understand or predict it. And I always also wonder if someone who's really young was exposed to four-dimensional shapes very often, if they would build a strong mental model of it and be able to understand it later in life.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject.
I thought of
Cutting the
a
future.
sci-fi story where all of they build a spaceship that can travel in four dimensions, but nobody can pilot it because they nobody can like understand what space they're moving through, because it's just fundamentally difficult to visualize, and so like they have to train pilots starting as kids. It takes them like 10 years to get a pilot program going because they have to like start young enough where all the pilots are kids to begin with, and then they
I would watch that anime.
yeah, I know, it's like totally like a fucking excuse to have a bunch of teenage pilots, right? Like
Yep.
that's how it works in every fucking anime. But I was like, oh, I have a premise that actually fulfills this like classic anime gag. So I was like, I could write a short story or something.
Um, so I'm feeling pretty good about where Hakma is right now. Exception of the arms. The arms are driving me a little fucking crazy. I'm gonna work a little more on those.
You're gonna like you're gonna get this thing basically back to square one before you get those arms.
You know what? Let's just drop it back to grayscale. Back to basics.
Jesus fucking Christ. It hurts me. It hurts me every time you do something like that.
Why? It's the
I
fun
can't
part of art.
I can't handle it.
I learned really, really young, not to be precious with work. In high school, actually, like, I was just like, I I remember doing this really big self portrait, and I was like, it was really coming along, and I was like fuck, I didn't think I could draw this way, and in high school you think you're great and shit, and I stopped working on it because I was like, fuck, I don't want to fuck it up. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand that much. It's and like I love breaking pieces, but at a certain point, like there's a commitment to actually like completing the work.
Oh yeah, sure, sure. But I'm not
Um,
concerned with that.
I feel like requires certain pins to be put in. You know,
For
you gotta
me,
like.
the completion of a painting is completely subjective. Completely subjective. I like if I call this painting finished now, even though I didn't feel finished with it, everybody be like, "Oh, great, he finished the painting." Like, and it's not because they don't understand or they don't know. You know, it's just because they don't know what my level of finish is. You know, they can't. It's a very personal thing. So like I never feel too much pressure about bringing any piece to a certain level. It kind of takes a lot of pressure off. Um, and like honestly, like as far as digital paintings are concerned, as far as fucking Angelarium's concerned, this is probably the this is at a higher level of finish than I think a lot of the other stuff is, which gets me really excited.
I want to see a lot of paintings from you at like this. You know, you can say finish. You can just. I think what describes it better is just high number of marks. Like
Yeah,
it just has more marks.
yeah. I
Finish is
remember.
such a relative term.
Yeah, I remember you used that term in regards to my work once before, and I didn't quite understand it. Um,
That
but
there's
hearing it now,
referring
it
to
makes sense.
more or less marks.
Yeah, no, here, no. I mean, like, it's just like high number of marks. You know, because like I think the piece that I was working on was very tonal, and I was like, "There's not supposed to be marks." Like, this is a, it's transparently painted. It was simulating watercolor. You know, like it's a very tonal piece. It's not about marks. But the
The
context
number
of
of marks necessary to get to the end point is like is not arguable. I mean, it's a
I
quantifiable metric for the
I don't think
for
it is. I think that's where you and I
but
disagree.
you could install a piece of software that tracks the number of times that you make a brush stroke or a keystroke, and like some pieces you could say they're more. Someone would maybe say that they're more detailed, which is probably a misnomer. What's more accurate is it just took more brush strokes and keystrokes to complete it,
Hmm.
which is just like a higher mark count more than anything.
Okay.
And it doesn't. It's not an indication of. It's not a. The reason why I say I feel like it's a better metric to describe something is because it's objective, and when you start talking about
No, but see,
detail
no,
and
I don't.
finish, I feel like you're talking about really subjective qualities.
Yeah, I don't
But I think
do.
the number of total keystrokes is
Yeah,
inarguable.
no, I don't do objective. I just no. Nope. 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 Nope.
Well, if we're having a conversation about like, I want you to, I want you to do a piece that's more detailed.
Then I get that. All right,
Be
fine.
like, you could be like, we could be talking about two entirely different things. You'd be like,
This is
well,
true, but
this is detailed.
I'm always of the mind that the artist gets to define those terms, not the doctor.
Well, yeah. Well, you could more detailed could mean, that there's more consideration made to a series of very precise marks, or you could say that there's just a lot of marks.
Yeah, I get what you're
Like
saying. I
splatter
still,
would be
I still,
splatter paint would be like a lot of fucking marks made, even if they weren't very precise. It wouldn't
yeah.
be detailed.
No, yeah, exactly. No, I get what you're saying. I still don't agree. um,
You can't argue with science, man.
oh, sure you can. Sure you can. Science changes, man. Science changes all the time.
But I would be curious actually to install. Like people always ask, oh, how many hours did this take you? And it's kind of like it kind of doesn't fucking matter. Like because part of what they're asking is how much effort went into it, right?
True. Yeah.
Uh, and
And
you say a
that was
lot of effort.
that was my takeaway from the statement.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like the question of how many hours do you work on it is
Yeah.
a request for a quantification of effort.
This yeah, like that's the thing. It's like that request for quantification.
Yeah,
I don't satisfy. I will never answer that question. I will never go.
just
Oh, it took 6 hours and 13,000 breaststroke. No, that's a bullshit question. I'll never answer it. I
well, like yeah. I mean, it's a bullshit question. I give it a blanket answer, which I've found is wildly inaccurate, but people are satisfied by it because it's a plausible answer. Um,
no, I give them. Well, it kind of varies from piece to piece, and I try to move on as best I can. If they try to
it,
if they
trust
try
me,
to
the conversation moves faster if you just tell them 20 hours.
Nah, they
Just round it to an even 10. Like even if it's not, even if it's off by 10 hours, like
I just can't do
fuck,
it.
it doesn't
Oh
matter.
no,
Like
I
nobody
just
really cares. They
uh,
want to know that you spent a lot of time on it. And even though 20 hours is not a lot for a painting,
yeah, it's
but
not.
like
But
it,
like,
it
it's
sounds like a lot to someone who doesn't paint
no, it's
because
true. It's
I've
true.
never worked on an art project for more
Yeah,
than
but
an
like the
hour.
what I do what you do, right? With other situations, I put the ball in their court. I go if they push and they want information, like this convention's not
How
the
many
place
hours
for.
do you think it take?
No, no,
How
no,
many
no,
hours
no, no,
does this
no.
painting take?
I would like like if it's and this only happens at conventions. I go like this. I was like this isn't really the place to talk about it, but if you want to shoot me an email, I'd be happy to talk more about this with you.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
it's like so deeply just unsatisfying. Like, shh, 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 don't tell anybody.
No, I'm
I'll
just
tell you
like
in.
no. It's not that I want to. It's like I just like I'm running a booth. I can't talk about this
That's why
right
you
now.
say that's why you say 20 hours because
But
the
that
conversation's
but
fucking over.
it's a lie. I don't know.
It is a lie.
Yeah, I
It's a
can't. No, because if they do email me, I will absolutely answer that email.
you're like this is like a long complicated answer. Let me take some time out of my day to write it to you.
I will
You're like
absolutely do
20
that.
hours.
I will absolutely write a
Conversation.
14 paragraph essay about how it took me 20 hours to do.
But that's why I would almost rather have a brushstroke counter built in that says it was 20,000 brushstrokes.
I
You know,
just don't see the value to that at all.
there's no value in it. Just it's like it's like it almost be like, oh, this was a more economical piece, while this one was more laborious, which again are very very relative terms, but
Yeah,
I
that's
almost
true.
want to know, like, I feel like I have a sense of it, but I'm sure that sense is wrong. And so I'd almost want to quantify it for myself, but to just be like, this is a piece that has a lot of marks in it.
Oh
Like,
fuck! I just finished the painting.
you just finished
I
it,
just finished it. Like it was like 5 brushstrokes.
and then you got it.
Almost. I still have to deal with the orb up there.
Oh
But
boy.
everything else is done. I'm not fucking with anything else but that orb right now. So that's getting saved. Like the orb is the one thing I haven't addressed in this painting at all. And now I can I can actually how long does it take me to do this
No more
painting?
question. Just say 40 hours.
No,
Just say 40 hours.
no, it's be like if you follow me on Twitch, you can watch the archive and count.
But that's the thing is like that's not even like a
No, it's
conversation,
not.
and
It's not.
it's like you'd be like, how many hours did it
I'm
take you on
clearly
Twitch to do this? And you'd be like, it took me 10.
yeah. I'm clearly being an asshole. No, you're right. Like, uh, my resistance to answering questions that way is probably because I have such a poor sense of how long it takes me to do anything.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, I was thinking about this specific question today. My stock answer has been 30 hours. I'm asking myself, how many hours did I actually spend on this piece up until now? Because like my hand was sore, and I was like, how many hours did it take for my hand to get sore? Because that's a real
it's a real
question.
number, yeah.
Um, and I was like, oh, it only took around 10 hours of work to get my hand to be sore. I'm like, well, how many more hours do I have left in this? I keep telling people it takes 30 hours to make a painting, but if I'm only 10 hours in and I'm this far, there's no way this painting's going to take me longer than 20 hours. And then I'm like, did they all take 20 hours and I just have a lot of bullshit in between? Like, where the fuck am I even at with this? And I'm like, I could probably time it, but I don't care to. But also, am I going to stop telling people? Am I going to start telling people they take 20 hours instead of telling them they take 30? And I'm like, I don't fucking care because that question doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where, like, that's so like, my philosophy for conversation is if the second this conversation has no value, I'll usually just check out. I'll just like walk away. Like it's not even like a thing. Because I told you, like my
You are
no
officially
no
you see value. I see no value in continuing
oh
this
no it's
conversation.
just my position is that if I'm not interested in a thing, I'm not interested. Like that's my response is disinterest. But I can't do that in conversation. So if a conversation starts out that way with like questions that I mean, what while being still genuine, they're not being assholes or anything. You know, like they're not, and they definitely there's no one's ever been mean about that question, or showing dissatisfaction with the answer. Um, like I have to try to find a way to steer it to a point where I want to engage because like that's my job. You know, like so like in some instances I will inundate them with like details. Be like, I love talking about my process. We'll do this right here if you want, you know. But they'll quickly check out themselves because like, but
They don't want to have a conversation about it. They
no,
want to know a quick
but
fact.
I want them to walk away with knowing that that question has gravity. You know, like you ask an artist about their process or what did it take to make this, they're gonna answer you because they care. You know, like yeah.
You can't just answer and be like, I'm gonna prove a fucking point with
No,
the
I'm not
answer.
trying. I'm not
It's
trying.
a trivial question.
No, I'm not trying to prove a point. It's an
Yeah,
honest
you are. You're
response.
like you just said. I want to prove that that question has gravity.
No,
Like,
I want them to walk away feeling that that question is gravity, so they're more responsible with it. But like, that's not my intention. Like, I'm not like listen
that
here,
is
kid.
absolutely trying to prove a point. You're like,
Well, maybe,
you're like,
but I'm not aggressive about it. Like, they ask a
I
question,
know
I
you're not
answer
aggressive
it.
about it. I'm saying that is the end. You're like the end goal of the answer to this question is to prove a point. That's probably I suspect that's a bad way to approach any conversation.
Maybe, maybe, but
I have a bad intuition about these things. Like
I've never regretted taking that approach. No one's ever left upset from that conversation. Um, so I think I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. But because like and honestly, because it is a completely honest question, and I do like talking about this stuff. I'm not doing it to punish them. If somebody like seriously like I love talking about process and how,
preface the answer. I'm not going to do this to punish you, but this is a 20-minute answer.
yeah, maybe
And then
maybe
like warn them about that, and then be like, "There's a 20-minute answer to that question. Do you want to hear it?" See how many people say yes.
ooh, you know what? Well,
Just
I'll
be
try
like,
that. I'll try that in New York. If it comes up,
try
I'll
it in New
try it.
York. You're like,
Yeah,
do you want a 20-minute answer to this question?
I'd be like, I would
Also,
love to answer.
that is immediately aggressive. Someone be like,
No, no, no.
you're like,
I'll be like, this is
you're
exactly how I
gonna
do it.
go order a piece of pizza, and you're gonna be like, "Hey, what kind of cheese is on there?" And they're gonna be like, "Do you want a 20-minute answer to that question?" You can be like, "Fuck no, I want a fucking pizza."
No, but I'll be like, listen, hey, okay, like I would love to talk about this with you. And take 20 minutes, and
But
I
I
am
eat this
committed to
pizza, and I
give.
got places to be.
I am committed to giving you that time. I would
This
love
is
to give
that
you.
kind of pizzeria.
Yeah, but I'm gonna leave that entirely up to you. Maybe I won't try that in New York. New York's not doesn't seem like the right crowd for like the long exposition about process.
New York's a busy place.
Yeah.
I mean, New
I
York
love New
Comic Con,
York.
especially, very, very busy con. People have places they want to be. It's a big fucking floor. They want to
Yeah.
like move around. You
No, no,
know.
no. I love New York. It's great to walk around in. The food is amazing. The people are great.
Oh, the city. Yeah, I was like, I thought you were saying the con. I was like,
The con is a different kind of animal.
the
And
con's the con's its own thing. I don't know. I wouldn't. Great isn't where I would
yeah,
start.
because like I wouldn't like this is how I describe New York Con within New York. The people who go to New York Con are not New Yorkers. You know, like they're New York Con goers, and and it's like this weird hybrid of like the New York energy and enthusiasm for whatever it is they're into and whatnot, and you know in a lot of cases that's a pretty neat conversation, pretty neat combination because like they're really enthused but they're really busy but there's some getting used to with that kind of environment, which I maybe struggled with the first few times I went to New York. I didn't really quite know how to deal with that. My last New York visit was a lot more successful because I think I kind of started to understand where they were coming from, and I had a better time overall. I definitely think I could have done a lot better as far as like the business side of it. I went there like completely not invested in that con, and I think that was a huge mistake. Which I'm hopefully I'm
Oh
rectifying
yeah,
it
well
this time around.
that's the biggest mistake you can make at any con is
Yeah,
to underinvest.
yeah, and I considering like I made it. I think I made an appropriate investment on like the amount of table space that I have this time around, and and I'm feeling really confident about how things are gonna go, and I'm excited about this weekend.
I,
We'll see
I
how it goes.
just I've never gotten such a high concentration of super shitty people.
Super shitty people.
Yeah, yeah, just like people who are like
Yeah.
hell
No.
bent on like making your experience bad.
Yeah. Like
Maybe there's certain Magic GPs that have been on that level. Like Magic players are on the whole like really super excited that a creator is around because that's not something that's typical with Magic. Like
well, I'd say
um,
it's kind of part of the
Comic Cons are
tradition.
just loaded to bear with comic creators, but like Magic people who worked on Magic are like far more specific. And so showing up to a GP, people are like, "Holy shit, it's a real Magic artist." It makes a bigger difference. But then there's like some percentage of them. It's like less than 1% is just like human garbage.
Like so, like so one of my biggest so I talk about haggling a lot, right? And
Yeah.
and how I don't like it. And there's a difference between like they got shit. Like I would love to buy this, but it's a little out of my range, or I just did a lot of shopping. I don't really have the budget. I'll work with you in that situation. You have a conversation with me. But the example that I keep forgetting to bring up when I talk about haggling, and it's the reason why I hate it so much, is because this one situation at last New York where I had a otherwise a very nice woman come up and like fawn over my work. She was just like, man, this is really beautiful stuff and whatever. That this is very talented. I'd love to buy something. Let me just take a look at what you got. She starts browsing, and she picks out this Batman piece that I had drawn. That actually was kind of proud of for aside from being a Batman drawing, which I don't do anymore. And but I was pretty proud of like the execution of it. And she was like, "Oh, okay, this is the one I want. How much is it?" I'm like, "It's $50." And she's like, $50? What have you done?" And I'm like, yeah, immediately I was just like, she went from being a very nice woman,
Well,
to just like
that's what I mean. It's
really
like
hostile
number of
about.
stories like that happen like there's usually like I usually have I mean I have a lot of interactions at a con like Dragon Con, right?
Yeah. So
I have very small number of negative interactions. I can't even think of I
yeah,
probably had one or two I wasn't crazy about,
I didn't
but
have any
I
from
can't
from
remember
Dragon
the
either.
specific examples. None of them were so bad to even really stick in my memory, but like I can
Well,
remember a couple of them from New York last year already off the top of my head that I just hated.
so let me finish this example because there's more to
All
this story. So like this is the nature of the haggling that went on after that. She was like, I really like it, but like you haven't really done anything like you know worth $50. And I'm just like, she's like, and she starts throwing prices at me like $20. I'm just like, listen, you like the drawing, right? And she's like, yeah, I love it. I'm just like, okay, so then I don't see what it matters what my resume is. I was like, yeah, I don't work in comics. I do these drawings specifically for this con as exclusives. She's like, yeah, but your signature is not really work. And I'm like, and I cut her off there because I didn't want her to. She was just about to say something that was just gonna make me livid. And I was just like, you like the piece, correct? And she's like, yeah, I really do love it. I'm just like, then it's $50. And we had like this like minute and a half moment of silence, you know. And the worst part about this exchange is that she bought the drawing. Like I went through all of that and feeling really shitty about being an artist and this really negative experience, and then that could have just been skipped if she had just been like, I really like it. Yeah, I would be happy to spend this money that you asked for on this piece. We could have skipped all of that.
Or she could have haggled with herself internally, like, I don't know if I can afford it or not,
Yeah,
and just
like
spent time thinking about it without like taking
taking it out
a
on me.
series of insulting asides.
Yeah, and like I would have been fine if she walked away with it. I mean, walked away from buying it. But I wasn't going there trying to make like my bills or anything like that. Like I said, my investment was kind of low on that con, and you know, and I just and then like so I had $50 in my pocket and I still felt really really shitty. You know, so like I was just like, I need to spend $50 right now. I need to get this the fuck off me. You know, and I bought like a pretzel, and that was $50, and I felt better. uh, but like
$50 street pretzel.
Yeah. So like I, that this is my problem with haggling is because like it's one thing. It's just like shit. Yeah, I can't really afford this right now because I'm like if you say shit like I've just bought a bunch of stuff. It's not really in my budget. I didn't know you were here or would have whatever. But like dude, then it's no problem. Like let's work something out. I'll either throw in some extra stuff or just knock money off of it. I'd love it if it had a home, right?
Right.
And fucking but like when you're just like, oh man, you start questioning my value as an artist as to why you should invest or you should buy something. Like when liking something isn't enough. That's super. Man, it's depressing. And like I left New York Con with a really bad taste in
Oh,
my
I
mouth
got a
because of
I got
that
a comment
experience.
on Instagram that is perfectly emblematic of the kind of shittiness that New York Con was over and over again for me.
You want to share that in the chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it right now. I'm pulling it up
Okay.
on my Instagram. Okay, so I posted this sketch for Remuel here,
Saw that. Yep.
um, and then they have two comments here back to back. The first one says, "What is an angel?" And then, "Is it a force of nature or is it an image in your mind? I wonder if it's a real concept or just nothing."
I don't even know what
It's
to do
like
with
those are
that.
the two options. Is it a real concept or is it just nothing? Like this is the guy came up to me at New York and was like, "So you just draw whatever and then put your name on it?" And I'm just like, "Fuck you, buddy, get out of here."
Oh my god. Like
And
how dare you? How dare
what is
you?
your fucking problem? Like, get out of here, buddy. Like, you think that you know this is your big problem with it? It's like you think, oh, are you just making shit up? Is like the question that is like the worst question. Are
Yeah.
you just making shit up? What,
Yeah.
like, as opposed to what? I'm a fucking fantasy artist, not a documentarian. Like, I'm not a journalist. I make fantasy art for a living. Of course, I'm making everything up. But so is everybody. Like, you could ask. Bob Kane was just making shit up when he made Batman,
Yeah, right.
right?
And like
He didn't
they don't put
document
that
a wild Batman.
yeah, they don't make that connection and that's frightening to me. Like is that these
But
things like
it's not just
Batman.
that it's not that just that it's a kind of like a ignorant like lack of appreciation for what artists do and what their role is in this industry. It's like they also want to get indignant about it. Like I'm trying to cheat them.
Yeah, like the audacity of you wanting to I don't know, make a living
Put
from
put my name on something that I
yeah.
just fucking made up. Right? Like how dare like there's a certain how dare you built in
Mhm.
that it there was there's none of that at Gen Con, there was none of that at
Oh,
Dragon Con,
no.
but New York I had like three of those.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
like Gen Con
I'm
was
like,
great. Gen Con
you're
was
at a
like
Comic Con.
Gen Con was the total opposite. It was like, you made this up yourself? Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, wow, you're not just like doing somebody else's fucking IP. Like
Yeah.
this is an original thing. You went through extra steps to have to make something original. And like they like understand the
The
that is
significance of that.
actually
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
And it's something worth celebrating. If it's something they enjoy and you made it up and you crafted it, that's like that's a fucking triple win.
Yep.
You just pulled off like a hat trick in front of them and they're fucking excited. At New York, they're like it's like points against you. You always got two strikes against you because you fucking made shit up.
Yep.
You know,
And
oh,
so
you're not able to draw real comic book characters, so you fucking made stupid your own stupid shit up. It's like
yeah, so New York Con is always and like it's not all that. I mean like I don't want
it's
to
not all that.
yeah,
It's
I
just the
don't want
hope
to
of that.
yeah, I don't want to like this isn't this we're not talking about New York Con as a general experience, which these are isolated incidents,
Yeah, it's just that
and
that's where those people live at Comic Cons, and that's why like
yeah, and it's
these other
and
cons are better,
yeah,
but that's why it's
they
like,
diminish our experience there. It makes us not want to go back, and like honestly, that's that sucks because like I like conventions. I think they're great, and
yeah,
I don't want to feel like I'm I have to justify my existence to everybody that comes to my booth, and unfortunately artists seem to be in this position all the fucking time. Like, why are you here? Why do you think you matter? Why do you think we should give you money for your work? It like that kind of attitude is indicative of what some people think about art as as a part of society, that part of culture, and I can't fucking stand it. It drives me fucking crazy. And
Well, in a room like where you're looking at hundreds or thousands of creations, right? Like all sorts of crafted items, printed books, sculptures, all sorts of different IPs from all over the world. You know, there's the stuff that's bleeding over from Japan and um, like this massive collection of characters and stories spanning 60 years. um, it's this massive cacophony of creation, and people are treating some of it like it's real and some of it like it's fake.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and you're, as someone who tries to like constantly be making something new and adding to that conversation, like
And you know what?
a lot of those people, you're
If you
doing it wrong.
if you look up the numbers, like let's just talk numbers for a second. We've sold more copies of Angelarium than we have any Batman book in the last 3 fucking years. Like any issue of Batman, any release of a graphic
I don't
novel.
think that's true.
I think it's absolutely true.
No,
Like
I
because
a
like
good. Are you talking trades? Are you talking
the issues,
issues?
issues, issues,
Issues.
issues sell max an average book 4,000, right?
Really?
Over the entire fucking year. Like issues sell almost nothing. It's why they do so many variant covers, because it incentivizes the comic book shops to buy them. But those copies hardly ever get bought. The entire comic issue industry is built on getting comic shops to buy them so they can get thrown out. They're not worth anything. They sell very little annual quantities. Because I mean, like the shelf life is a month at best, right? And they don't appreciate in value anymore. Like, so what happens to them? The covers get stripped. The covers get stripped and they get sent back to the distributor, and then they get credit for that so they can make the next round of purchases. It's just
I had heard that successful, like that was standard for like random books on the shelf, but that successful books
but there are more
were
random
doing
shelves in the book.
40,000
Yeah, that's
copies.
right. Yeah, so like issue number 1 of Black Panther that just came out, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's an isolated incident. There
But
are
like I mean,
it's
even
nine.
some indie stuff can hit that if it's a
Sure,
bit of, I don't know, if everyone, if it's like a first issue
but
for
in
like an idea that people generally like Squarriors
but
did
in
like 40,000.
but like in but like
It's a lot.
absolutely, it's absolutely a lot. It's absolutely a lot. But what the thing is that those sales are not just the issues out of comic shops. They're the ebooks, the digital comics that they're doing. That's all wrapped up in that number. And in most cases, like the returns on that to artists are super low. So like I hardly even count those fucking things. The the overall sales, like you ask the guy who did fucking fuck, I just heard him fucking talk about this. The Chrononauts. Uh, he did a book.
Andrew Murray. Not no Sean. Yeah, Andrew Murray.
Andrew Murray, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's got a book that he did. He sold a handful of fucking copies, and the publisher owns the rights. He can't do anything with, but he knows that if he could get the rights back, Image would publish it, and he'd do a lot better. But like it's Marvel's call. If they don't make the reprints, if they don't make a trade out of it, then the money is gone. And they don't make trades out of everything. They just don't. So like what you're seeing on the shelf there are very isolated incidents. The issue sales determine what gets turned into a trade, and then the trade sales, again, like that's not everybody. Not everything happens. Not everything goes that route.
I swear I heard that the trades make no money, and it's the issue sales that make the money because they're the cheapest to print.
No, no. I think maybe the cost versus or whatever, but like the actual issue sales, no way, no way. Because not every comic shop is buying everything, and in fact,
Well, I'm an outsider to it, so I can't. I won't believe anything I've heard because I
no,
don't fucking.
no, yeah, and I might be speaking from old information. I mean, it's been a while since I've given a shit about the comic industry, but like the fucking yeah, like so like if DC puts out 200 books this month, an average comic shop will order 10. Like it's like it's in nobody's interest to order all those books. They're not all getting bought. They might be getting made. The projected numbers might look high. They're not getting bought. That's for goddamn sure. You know?
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell's happening in the comic industry right now. It
Yeah. Well,
seems scary.
IDW and Image are doing fucking amazing things for making things honestly more profitable, not just for them but for artists and writers. Um, you know, DC system, Marvel system is, you know, I think they're in their death throes. They're gonna need to change or get the fuck out.
Well, I've gotten the sense for a long time that Marvel exists entirely as a IP farm.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see that changing anytime soon because the profitability of the IPs as a whole, it allows them to keep their costs down while they experiment with the different approaches to
Yeah, I just saw
monetizing
a
IPs.
stroke of green I put in on the stream, like, after I'd done it. I was like, oh man, I really liked it, but I erased it. Yeah, there it was. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's why comic artists have to do the concert to make a living. You know, like the book sales, like DC and Marvel's position on page rates that the book sales aren't high enough to pay them more. You know, and unfortunately, that's true. Um, you know, so you have writers and having to work 20 books just to make a living. You know, hoping to sell the rights on something.
I'm still fucking baffled at how many copies of Book of Emanations has sold because I still sell. I still
Yeah,
sell
when you told me
like
the number,
this weekend I sold like four of them this weekend, right? Like, um, you think like, oh yeah, that's not a lot. You sold four in a weekend, whatever. But this is like background web sales. Like there was no promotion put into it. There was
yeah,
no like this is like any 2 day period. You're looking at some number of book sales, whether it's one or four or whatever. And as long as that just keeps going, that number continues to tick up. Like if we're selling, it's like I think it's still on for like a just ambient background online sales, 1,000 books a year. Like it's fucking kind
yeah,
of crazy. I mean, with the convention sales mixed in, it's been like I think probably sold around 2,000 books this year, and that's like the second year it's in its run. Like that's nuts. This is a book. This is a self-published book. There's and this isn't like this is like where you start to get into the crazy territory where the people self-publish horse books. You know what I'm talking about?
horse books,
Horse books. What do you think a horse book is?
book about horses.
Yeah. Like someone writes about like their fucking think about like Black Beauty, right? You know what Black Beauty is?
You gotta get that Black Beauty. That's a
It's a
drug, right?
it's
It's
a
a form of cocaine.
no Black Beauty
Sorry.
Black Beauty's original cultural prescience is a fucking book about a black
I know,
horse.
I know, I know.
Okay.
Just
So
fucking with
like
me.
the thing is people are just writing stories about horses like oh and then rode majestically across the prairie or whatever. And so no publisher is going to publish these things, but then as soon as like fucking e-publishing became a thing, people who would write like shitty horse books turns out they were selling, you know, 50, 60, 70,000 copies of these fucking horse books on the Kindle. And because they were self publishing them and they were getting to keep 70% of the money.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these people who are becoming millionaires overnight selling cheap horse books, right? And it's brilliant. It's amazing. And so like we're not in horse book territory,
Thank
but it's
God.
still this kind of thing of like um, you know, no major publisher would have picked up Book of
No, we would
Emanations.
have had a
Like
hard
maybe
time
a
pitching this.
boutique publisher, maybe, but like a major publisher wouldn't have given out an advance, wouldn't have paid out a really great royalty rate, but it's sold better than a lot of books. Like it's sold fabulously well for the kind of book that it is, um, because like because I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, don't get
Like
me wrong. Like, I'm proud of it. You know, like fuck yeah, you know. But
I
um,
can't say why it's selling better than many books, because that assumes that there's something about it that is, that I've figured out something about the market of selling books that other people who do this as a profession have not. And I don't have any special knowledge, and I don't feel like I have a certain special advantage in that space. So I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that it's gone really, really well.
yeah, yeah. When you told me the number,
We-
I I didn't. So I got the chance to talk to Sterling Hundley's class a few weeks ago, and so I'm sitting there and I'm talking, I'm answering questions, and I'm having fun. And I'm like, does anybody have any questions? And Sterling's like, yeah, I got a question. He's like, how so? Since the first book, like, how's it feel? How does it feel to have the highest funded book in Kickstarter history? I'm like, the fuck are you talking about?
we didn't. It's not that.
I no, but like if you look at it, it's not the highest funded Kickstarter. It's the highest funded book Kickstarter.
No,
And that's this is according to him. I didn't even look it up. I was like, what the fuck are you talking
it's
about?
not true.
And now that I'm bringing it up, I actually want to look it up. I want to see if that's actually the case.
It's like the eighth Book of Watchers is like the eighth highest in the art book section on publishing. So like it's the eighth highest art book, but also if there's a bunch of art books that are categorized as other things that are categorized as like art projects, and so it's like it might be in the top 10, but then there's like a couple of them that are in the art book category that aren't really art books. It's in the top 10 most funded art books on Kickstarter. Book of Watchers is. Book of Emanations is not even fucking
No,
close.
yeah, no, Book of Ancient. No, I'm talking about Book of Watchers specifically.
But like Steve Lichman is raised 100,000 in the first
Yeah,
8 hours.
Steve Lichman is gonna crush Angelarium. Okay, here we go. I'm looking at it. So Art of Brahm definitely beat us out.
Definitely more.
Yeah. Okay.
But not
I
by
feel
a
better
ton.
now.
Done,
Not
but
yeah, like $30,000. I feel better about that now because I didn't know how that. Because when he said that, I was just like, "Get the fuck out of here! That's bullshit," you know. And I'm just like, but still, to even be in that fucking that category
yeah.
is fucking weird. And
Um. Oh, I looked at the total number of books that TWE has on hand, and the total is just south of 550 books left. But Magnetic is talking to me about picking up 200 more. So it might be 350 books left of the second edition.
cool. Is so Magnetics actually they're moving them? I know like they're
They
always
they
like
just they
tweeting
like
shit.
worked for a really really long time, and then they gave me a call, or they gave me an email the other day that's like, "Hey, we're being bought out by another company, or we're
Really?
merging with another company." Yeah, like the guy who owns Magnetic, he had a very different picture about how the whole business side of stuff was going to go, and it didn't go his way, and he was frustrated with it. And rather than dumping it, he sought out a merger, and now he's merging with another uh, indie publisher that is that's larger, and so he's going to keep the imprint name and the catalog,
Hmm.
and so he's re-signing. I'm going to re-sign the Book of Emanations, but I'm going to hold off on Book of Watchers to see how this merger goes. And he's like, "Oh, and by the way, now I suddenly need 200 copies." I'm like, "Fucking great!" Like,
Hmm.
so I think he was actually holding back because he wasn't sure if he wanted to hold inventory because he wasn't sure if the business was going to keep going.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then now that that's resolved, like, it's game on as far as retail, pushing through retail. So
So
apparently, like the amount that I put through the pipeline into into the retail section has moved and is backed up, and they require inventory. But yeah,
So Sergeant Spiffy's got a good question, and I'm gonna answer it for you, Pete. Or I'm
okay,
gonna chime in before you say your 2 cents.
hit it.
Pete, you talk about not knowing why your books sell, but don't you think that the aesthetic of yours and Eli's work is just appealing and well marketed? I don't know if it's appealing, but it's absolutely well marketed. And in Sterling's class, I said as much. I was like Pete hands down is responsible for the recognition that Angelarium has. Um, the 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 journey to Book of Emanations, like a painting a week, like are you fucking kidding me? While on top of working, the emails and all that stuff and the actual promotion stuff. Yeah, same's true for Book of Watchers. Like Pete's absolutely responsible for the marketing, and I think that's a massive part as to why the books are successful.
The
Uh,
the point where I'm confused though is that I've watched other people do the same approach to marketing that I did and gotten a completely different type of result.
well, this
And
comes down to what
so,
you said earlier. It's just like you follow your step, you follow your journey step for step. You're gonna find doors close to you, or that were
right.
like it's not gonna be the same for everybody. Um,
The there is a certain thing where like the aesthetic is just hot right now, and I don't feel like I can take credit for that because it's not like I was like I knew where the cultural aesthetic was headed. It's just like I did the thing I wanted to do, and I got really fucking lucky that it turned to line up with like culture's taste, like a certain culture's taste at just the right time. And that wasn't smart on my part. That was pure luck. And I the longer I look at it, the more I'm certain that the level of success had a lot to do with luck. Um, the fact that I was able to capitalize off the current taste of the marketplace had to do with the fact that I put the work in. Like it wasn't the work being put in wasn't an accident. It was just that like had I had a very different vision and a very different taste and wanted to make something really different, it may have gone very very differently. Like I see the level of success people get out of doing this type of work very dramatically, and it's not entirely up to how hard they work at it or what how many smart decisions they put in. Like I am not willing to say that I'm, you know, if I got 10 times as many sales, I would not say I'm 10 times smarter or 10 times better at painting than the person who got 1/10 the number of sales. I would just say that,
no,
the
yeah, I
lines up
agree.
10 times as well with the taste of the
Yeah,
marketplace at
like
the time it was sold.
my statements about you being responsible, that the marketing being responsible for a good chunk of the success is not a statement that you're a genius. Like, let's be very clear about that. I'm not praising you, Pete. I'm just saying
Okay.
that whatever it is you did, however it is you did, the result was a successful IP, a successful brand. Um, so I don't know how you did it, so I can't really state as the quality of your brain. I think it's okay. Um, yeah, um, I am convinced that the marketing was just right for whatever reason. It was just right.
It the marketing was interesting because it was very low investment marketing. Like it was entirely based off of virality. Like I it the marketing was let me just tell people that the art exists, and if they are into the nature of the work, they will go and just buy whatever's associated with it. Like they're not gonna they're not gonna assess the value proposition of it as much as they want a collection, and the book is an offering of that collection.
Mm.
And and so like the marketing was a lot of I make a painting, I put that painting out in all social media spaces, and just fucking hope for the best.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's actually the part that I'm struggling with right now, like for my own project. Like, so I'm about to start that journey for Judgment, and I'm like, fuck, like I'm not good at the social media stuff, just like the promotion, and so um, it's like I'm gonna spend the next 30 fucking days just hyping the fuck out of this thing and hoping something sticks, it gains traction somewhere.
well, the big thing is like if you were to be building your mailing list over the course of the next, 3 months or whatever, and you were to get several hundred people added to your mailing list, or like a couple of thousand people added to the mailing list because you were putting work out into public spaces where they were wanting to subscribe to see more,
Mm-hmm.
then you would be able to get those people who signed up for the mailing list to buy the book. because they're interested in the body of work, they're interested in a collection of the work, they're interested in seeing what the whole vision looks like all put together.
Yeah.
And that's a kind of marketing, but it's not like, crafting just the right ad. It's not a matter of crafting the right ad copy or message or single graphic or store graphic. It's more about getting people involved in, because I mean Steve Lichtman is very much the same way. Like if you look around at the social media posts for the Steve Lichtman Book Two campaign,
Hmm.
the response is not huge. Like the number of likes on Facebook posts or Tumblr posts or the number of likes on Twitter is just it's low. It's a very nominal amount, but then the actual number of books they're selling is fucking tremendous because in part people who wanted to buy the first book couldn't because they were only selling it through Kickstarter. And if you missed your opportunity
Yeah.
for a pre-order, like you just couldn't get it. And now it's like there's this pent-up demand where people were like, "Oh, I like this comic. I've read this comic. I want to be able to buy it, and I have to buy it now, or the door may close and I'll never get to fucking see it again."
Right.
The latent interest that's built up around the comic itself has caused the news to spread organically. The fact that a Steve Lichtman book is for sale right now, not only the one that you couldn't buy before, but another new one that's even larger is a crazy compelling story to tell. And it's moving a tremendous number of books. Um, and like I don't even know how much of that is intentional. Like we're gonna have Dan Warren on the show. We're gonna talk about it because I have no idea what it looks like from his perspective, or even what their intention is behind the way they've done it. But it is definitely culminated in a super crazy successful campaign, like an outlandishly successful campaign, record-setting probably. I I don't know if it's going to be the most successful comic done so far because these web comic ones have gone kind of nuts. I think there's at least one that's broken 1 million.
Really? No.
Uh, yeah, let me
No.
take a look.
Yeah.
Kickstarter,
I'm
the
gonna
comic
fact check
section
you on
gets
that.
fucking crazy. The one that I always see is the Order of the Stick.
Oh yeah, Order of the Stick's pretty huge. And they've been huge for a long time. Spiffy, thanks for the question. That was a great question.
Order of the Stick raised 1.2 million.
That's not absurd because they actually make really good content.
Right,
Content.
right. And they've been, there's a lot of interest in the brand as a whole that's been available for people to share freely online for a long time. And they have a lot of reach to that audience through the comics page, but probably also through like a mailing list or whatever else, or just through the culture around webcomics.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Order of the Stick magnet on my fridge right now.
Yeah.
Like it. They're
So when all they needed to do is announce the Order of Stick book was available, and that was all it really took to get that first $1 million worth of sales,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, is it marketing when all you're doing is releasing a comic regularly and at a high quality for 10 straight years? Like, is that marketing? Because it has the effect of marketing
It's true.
once you finally launch the campaign.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it's like Book of Emanations is kind of the same way. It's like I promoted the concept of Angelarium and the content of it for several months, and then I allowed it to be purchased. And that was the grand marketing campaign, which when you're talking about an illustration series, makes a lot less sense than a comic book. So if someone were to try to repeat it and be like, I'm going to do 11 illustrations and I'm going to put them up on social media and I'm going to put them up on Reddit and then I'm going to launch a Kickstarter, like that's not a real plan.
It's not. It's not. And like that's unfortunately like when I sat down to really think about how I was going to approach talking about Kickstarter in November, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of stuff and take some pictures and stream it, and I'm just like that's fucking stupid. Like I wrote that list down. I was just like, no.
You're like, wait, what am I missing?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what,
Like there's some massive holes missing in this thing, and
it almost feels like when I recite back what I did to get Angelarium to succeed, there's a question of okay, and then what? Like, what was the thing that you did that activated these things? What was the thing that made it actually come together and work? And the answer was, um, a lot of people shared it independent of me because they just happened to like the content a lot. Like way more than people like a lot of illustration series.
It's really like, I think when talking about your project, I think it's really about like getting past the surface details. You know, the surface promo. You know, like, and unfortunately for a lot of people, the like the single image, you know, from that project falls into surface detail. You know, they want to know more. They want to feel that it's real. And like you mentioned this a few times in conversations with me that you know, like it's when they start seeing collections of stuff where it seems like a body of work, you know, that there's something more beyond this work, that it's being done for a reason. They tend to believe in it a little harder, um, and it obviously helps that they like you know, they like the work. And so like right now, like the position I'm in is just like, I mean, it's like I've had I've shared Judgment, you know, with people, you know, over the last year, you know, kind of very quietly, I guess, because you know I wasn't really sure what was happening with it. So there's images out there, and I think it's maybe just like I need to cast a net, figure out where it is, and you know, not dump some. Well, in addition to dumping more images from the book, just make it a little more accessible. And I think with this project, we're in kind of a unique position because the book's already finished. You know, so like, um, you know, we can talk about it. You know, like in retrospect, and we have all this like this secondary material about making the book that we're gonna share with the public, and we we're working on the next story. Um, so like we can show in progress stuff right now. And even with that, like you know, like the editing sessions and the new work and the old work and all that, I still feel like it's not enough. I know it's not enough. No, it's not. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what else I can do, and um, yeah, I just need to start pulling the trigger on trying some stuff. And that was my to do list today until you were like, "Hey, I'm streaming." But
That ended hours ago. That the rest of this streaming time is on you.
no, yeah, the rest of the streaming time is on me. But like, yeah, like this was scheduled. This was part of my schedule. I was
Oh,
like, all right,
okay.
I'm gonna work on this until this, and then I'm gonna stream. uh, but tomorrow, that's all I'm doing is working on Judgment. Uh, you know, casting my
Yeah.
figuring out
The
what I can do, what my opportunities are for talking about it and sharing it.
I mean, finding the places where people consume the sort of thing that you make. I think that's number one.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a beat on a few places that are not super high profile, but like I think the people who do go to those outlets are, you know, like genuinely care about the stuff. Because like, you know, Judgment is kind of, it's not a, you know, it's not um it's still I'm okay. So like with Judgment, like I'm working very much like it's my pure, like, as far as the art execution is concerned, it's my pure voice. It's me making work the way I want to make work, and no interferences, no editing, no revisions. I mean, there are revisions, but they're mine. And I'm satisfying what I feel needs to happen for the story. Like I'm my own art director on that, and it's pure me. Whereas you know, Angel Larian was obviously a collaboration. Um, you know, Judgment is this thing where I felt like I really got to sing. But I look back on making it, and I still feel like it's my best work because it's the most honest I was able to get with myself. And you know, and the few people that bought the prototype, and then they bought the prototype, really like it, which you know surprised me. I mean, it surprised me. I'm happy with it, but like you know, it was, you know, it's nice to hear back from some of those people and like, hey, I really like this stuff. I get to talk to them about, you know, plans for the Kickstarter. Um, but it's man, I'm fucking scared because like I think it's a good project. I think it's something.
Well, the success of the project is going to be directly correlated to the outside interest around the project prior to the campaign's launch.
Yeah.
And if that amount is low because few people have ever seen it, then the amount of sales are going to correlate to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
You don't necessarily need a lot of sales to get this thing to
Nope.
be the size that you want it, but you also want to have the maximum number of sales.
Oh, of course.
So anything you can do to raise awareness of it as a thing um, is going to be critical.
Yeah, and that's number one on the to do list for the next month. So Brad, you say I'm not talking into a mic. Does anybody you having any trouble hearing me at all?
No, I'm not having any trouble hearing you
Yeah,
now.
I don't think it's us. Um, so, but yeah, and expect like a shit ton of questions from me, Pete. I'm gonna bother you a lot about this.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, you need to have. I think that the more pages, with the current state of it being that few people have heard of it or know what it is,
yeah, yeah.
you need to
Exposure.
share. I mean, even if you're not just sharing pages from Judgment, if you're also sharing content that is similar, like you're making other books, other pages in the same style, um, and you're putting those out there, like that'll provide context to the body of work that you're trying to market.
Okay, it makes
So
sense.
if you're just doing other, whether it's the next one in the series or um,
Well, no, I'll be sharing the work from Judgment. Um, but I
but I
think
mean like across places like Tumblr, Instagram, Reddit, wherever, you just sharing like pages of uh, comic that look like Judgment. Like the amount of number of people that are interested in that type of work that you have active communication with is going to be what's going to.
oh, I see what you're saying.
So like even if people are just like, oh, there's a comic from Eli Manaya, like that's what you want them to say when they see this. Like if that's a meaningful sentence to them, you will have a shot at selling them a book.
Okay.
If they don't know what that means, if that is a statement that they can only identify as words that have no context to them, then you will have a fucking hell of a time trying to sell them a book.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
the more people you have that can say out loud, "Oh, look, a comic from Eli Manaya," like the better.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Is it like a lot of people are out there going like, "Oh, there's a new Steve Lichtman book," and like that's a meaningful statement to say out loud because
Right,
they that has connotation to them, like they
right.
understand what that means. And because there's many thousands of those people, because of how popular the pages that were released out on the internet were, like that's the reason why that campaign's doing really well, more so than anything else,
Mm-hmm.
by like a huge margin, because I'm not seeing any of the marketing material that they're putting out on the social media have any real sway. Like it's making a difference for sure. Like if they hadn't done it, they would have sold fewer books, but like I'd say 10 to 1, most of it is just brand awareness. Like
Right.
people are aware of what this thing is and now they know it's for sale because they had a friend tell them or because they saw like one post about it. They don't need to be convinced, you know? And that's where Angelarium does most of its marketing too. It's just like, okay, a bunch of people saw it. They like go like, "Oh, is this a thing?" And they look around and they find the website and they go like, "Oh, I like this thing." So when they find out there's a book for sale, you know, they're very quickly a potential customer.
No, that
Um,
makes a lot of sense. And
and so I'm not really marketing to them actively during the time while the thing is being sold. My biggest marketing pushes were internal marketing, where I was just sending direct messages to Facebook followers and Twitter followers, letting them know that the book was on Kickstarter, and a huge number of them had no. This was the a surprise to I'm still getting messages back from the Twitter campaign of people
No,
going like, "Oh, sorry, I don't check my Twitter more than once every 3 months, and I
yeah,
found this message from you. I
I
want to
did
buy a
that
book."
for Kings, and
Yeah,
that was super successful. Like the direct messages
right.
were huge. Like and like
Because these are people who already know who you are and what you make.
right, right, yeah,
So the more of those you have, the better the book will do.
right, right.
Very few people are going to get convinced of your book making potential and also want to spend money on your book all in one big.
True. That makes a lot of sense. That's no, that's great. That's super valuable. That actually, like I had started interacting with the idea of with that idea a little bit, and but I wasn't really putting too much focus on it. I was just like, yeah, there was this this new stuff that we're putting together for for October. That is it's not secondary to the book, but kind of helps support the book, so that we can it's whole content we can put out there, um, and it's it's pretty straightforward stuff, and it's kind of bite sized, and I'm thinking maybe leaning on that a lot more as far will help increase my presence a little bit, um, and in the end, like the idea was to have a collection of honestly they're little one page, comics, telling kind of these like smaller moments in Greek mythology, and
Yeah, the more of those you get out into the public consciousness, the better.
yeah, yeah. So I think just based on what you're saying, and it's just making a lot of sense. I definitely want to make because we were gonna do like 5 or 6 of those. Maybe you want to triple that number.
Yeah. Leading up to it, the more of those you can get out into the public space, the more people you can get to see them, the more likely you are to sell that book, even if it's a different set of comics, even if
Yeah,
it's a different story.
yeah. We were
It's
gonna.
as long as it's done the same style by the same people, and like you open up a channel of communication with them, like yeah, it'll be a big, big difference.
No, that's huge. That's gonna.
This strategy flies in the face of the I don't want to tell anybody about this until it's ready to show to the
No,
public.
see, I had the distinct pleasure of getting over that
Yeah.
during Angel Airman. I was just like, oh man, he just put all my work out there. I didn't know we were doing that.
um, yeah, no, I mean you've seen that work. I'm not saying that so much for you, just I'm putting that out
No, I
there.
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Um, you got to watch that happen. I have actually thought they would have sold more Steve Lichman Volume 2 books if they had posted more pages from the second book prior to the launch of the campaign.
Hmm.
Um, they have been they have been very secretive of it. They wrote and illustrated 400 pages for the second book, and they've released only like five.
I didn't even know that. Like so, like I knew about Steve Lichman before the first Kickstarter because like I saw the actually Toby Toon, either showed it to me or showed it to him, but it was like this really great collection of super funny and smart comics. And then a week later, like the Kickstarter was out there.
The first book's 250
Yeah,
pages.
and so the second book, and this is the testament to like the demand for this content. That despite only sharing 5 or 6 pages of the second book, they've already crushed their funding goals, and it's working out to be like a breakaway success. But I think that's indicative of the content. I don't
Yeah,
think that strategy
people
would
like the
work for someone
content
like
and
me.
the brand. The content they've seen and the brand is like so strong they can extrapolate. They're like, I just want more of whatever this is. I don't even care.
Right. Yeah, I don't care about what's included with the backer rewards. I know at the very least I want this book.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what's really nuts is like I was talking to them about it, and they're like, um, uh, we have to deliver 200 pages because we told people we would. I was like,
right.
like on Twitter, like, like, they like, or like during a stream or something, they'd be like, oh, it's 200 pages and it costs $25. I was like, you could chop that, you could make that could be the first two volumes, and you could sell each of those for $25. Like, you guys could make twice as much money off of this. And they're like, oh, you think that's bad? We're gonna do 400 pages for the second book and only charge $10 more. And I'm just like,
Right.
that you each of these volumes should only be 100 pages. Like, it doesn't make sense to release this 400-page second volume. Like, uh, but it's like it kind of doesn't matter because it's like, what's the difference? If they're gonna sell a $500,000 worth of books, it's gonna be a success. It's just a matter of degrees.
Yeah.
For two guys who don't seem to be particularly interested in, you know, squeezing every last dime out of this, it
No.
kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, they just love
It's more of
making
just a matter of my own personal frustration of just wanting to see this go so well that it like propels other future successes from them and other people.
it. Right.
But like, it's like almost a detail.
Yeah. So I just figured out why my
Uh,
mic is coming in soft.
I know for a fact they could probably have doubled or tripled the amount of money they made off of this thing. That's like saying a lot. Um,
Yeah,
fucking 400 pages? You kidding me? Why?
it's crazy. But like, I mean, like, who knows how long it took? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I would love to hear from them. I would love to find out what they're like. Why didn't
Robot
they?
Pete, am I coming through really bad?
Can you hear me at all? No, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Hello?
I'm apparently coming through really loud. Am I muted? I can't hear Eli anymore.
Am I muted?
Wonder if it.
So, yeah, I think what's going on with my mic is that I was talking into the wrong one. I was talking into the mic on my headset, and that's not on. I have a microphone on my desk, just beyond my Cintiq, that is farther away. So when I sit back in my chair,
Oh,
you can't hear me. You can't hear me.
oh, thanks with it. I'm gonna sign out. It's late.
Yeah, I was about to call it quits myself. I'm exhausted, and I think we made some really good headway on paintings. We got to see Pete's head get blown back by different slayers. That was exciting.
Yeah. My
Um,
hair was officially blown back.
Yeah.
My mind is expanded. Oh, and
Uh,
I've been seeing a lot of painting done on this while we've been talking too.
yeah, I don't doubt that. So, I mean, we're going to talk about that on your next stream. I hope to pop in on that one as well. Um, thanks everybody showing up. We really appreciate it. Channel's Bad King. If you haven't already and you'd like to, you like to stream, throw me a follow, throw Pete a follow. We'll be back. I'll be streaming again. I'm gonna try to stream again on Wednesday, but I've got to make the trip for New York, so I'm working out the.
We got to set up a regular schedule, but we don't really have regular schedules.
No, I'm liking this Monday thing where you stream at noon and then however long that goes, and then I stream at 6.
Yeah, that's assuming a lot about how my weekend goes.
And that's fair for me. Like I had to blow off a meeting for Judgment this week to get this stream going. So we'll figure something out. But there's a good chance I'll be on tomorrow streaming some drawings. We'll see. Again,
Yeah, I might do. I got a more detailed painting to do, so I might be just like on a low key stream, like
yeah, let me
less
know.
talk.
I at least want to see, so just definitely let me know. If anything,
All right.
I might just like tune in as a viewer and just watch you work while I work. Again, thanks for visiting Bad Kingdom. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.